Hey everybody, Bruce goes over here, man. Practicing my YouTube channel, seeing if I can get it synchronized um with YouTube. See if I can get StreamYard synchronized with YouTube. I might possibly have it over here. I think I do. So hi everybody out there. We were going to talk about a little about Mike Tyson, man. My memories of Mike Tyson, they are immense because I grew up in definitely during the Tyson era. Of course I saw Muhammad Ali and I saw Larry Holmes, and man, they were all awesome boxers. I mean, the best time to be growing up. But I was also lucky enough to grow up during the Mike Tyson era. And I remember way back in the day, kind of just around the time cable came in, they were talking about Mike Tyson on the on the main stations where the only places you could see boxing at the time. Excuse me, man. That was the CBS, NBC, and ABC, and they were talking about this kid up in Catskill who was trained by Customato, former trainer of two-time heavyweight champion Floyd Patterson. And the word was Mike Tyson, this man-child of I believe 18 years old, was knocking out heavyweights all over the place. Tony Boswell, my brother, salute, man. Good to see you up here, man. I just trying out this channel over here. I'm glad to see you here, bro. I'm talking about Mike Tyson up here, man. Talking about my memories of Tyson. And like I said, I remember in the Catskills, bro. They were showing clips on the tube. They were showing the early fights. I'm looking back in Boxing Rec for these names, but I remember them: Hector Mercedes and Don Haplin, Richard Spann, John Alderson. I remember Lorenzo Kennedy, Michael Johnson, and then the next one on the list is a guy named Donnie Long, man. No sound. I remember Lorenzo Kennedy, Michael Johnson, and then the next one on the list is a guy named Donnie Long, man. No sound. I remember Lorenzo Kennedy, Michael Johnson, and then the next one on. Is it coming through now, Tony? It looks like it's coming through on mine. You hear me? Mark, my brother, what's happening? I'm Mark hears me. You hear me now, Tony? All right, man. Okay, man. Hey, I guess I'm doing the right thing. I learned how to monetize people, and the people that I like, that I know, I'll monetize them, and that's the way it's going to be over here. This is Bruce Goes Doing Boxing. I just started this channel up, and I'm here to talk about some of the stuff that I know in my head, and a lot of times I love talking about it, but I just don't have the platform, and now I kind of found that I do, and I made an improvement today, man. I'm on YouTube and I'm on StreamYard at the same time, so I'm kind of learning a few things about it. Salute to the Iceman, my brother out there. Doug, bro, how you doing, man? My buddy Doug from fourth quarter, man. That's the place to go. You want to get in shape, go to Fourth Quarter Talk, man. Big Duke. We'll show you how to eat right. We'll show you how to train right. Just a couple of OGs from the gym. And neither one of us are anything but certified trainers, I guess. I don't even know, man. I don't even know what certifications Duke has, but I know he's a real deal. I know he was bro. I mean, Duke is the real deal. Duke does the push-ups. He pushes up, the earth goes down. So, man, Duke's my brother. We do Fourth Quarter Talk, and I hope Duke pops on here sometime. He was on here the other day when I was doing an experimental live. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about Mike Tyson and the memories that I have of Mike Tyson, man. I grew up in that era. And I remember in 1985, man, that was like my marriage was falling apart. And I heard about this guy. I just got in cable television, and they were showing whole cards where you couldn't see whole cards in the past, but now you could see a whole card on ESPN, and they were just starting USA Tuesday night at the fights, and it was a beautiful thing, man. And Mike Tyson, he was the heavyweight that Larry Holmes was the man. Larry Holmes was running the heavyweight division, but they needed something else, and Don King knew he was losing his hold on Larry Holmes. He was looking for a heavyweight of the future. He didn't have Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was with Customato and Danny Jacobs, Bill Caton, and it was a whole different scene. But Don King controlled the rest of the heavyweight situation. But anyway, Mike Tyson, I watched him coming up as an amateur. I saw the fights on the undercards of ESPN and USA, and the names. They're nobodies, but these are the guys that foundations are made from. The guys like his first fight, Hector Mercedes. They're all pretty much standard knockouts. Don Helplin, Trep Singleton, John Alderson, Larry Sims, Lorenzo Kennedy. You knew these guys. You knew they were the guys that heavyweight records were built on. Then he fought this guy Donnie Long, and I had seen Donnie Long. I had seen him on. He fought this guy, James Broadaxe Broad. He beat Marvis Frazier in the Olympic trials. Joe Frazier's kid knocked him out. And anyway, Donnie Long beat him. So I said, whoa, Mike Tyson's finally fighting a tough guy over here. So Mike Tyson took him out in the first round. And that was the first time that I saw Tyson live. And I'm like, wow, this kid is a little better than your average, built up heavyweight. This is something I've seen. I'm going to watch greatness in the making. And I watched him go on, and he fought a lot of the co features on ESPN. I think he might have even done a few, and then he finally did a ABC's Wide World of Sports. That's when he fought Jesse Ferguson, and he made this comment. He said he was going to pound Jesse Ferguson's nose into his brain. And man, this was not the politically correct era we're living in today. But this shocked a lot of people. This is an animal. This is not your typical average everyday heavyweight. And I remember that fight. It was a main event, and the undercard was. I remember like it was yesterday. It was Mike Williams. Mike Williams, who had just Carl the Truth Williams. Carl the Truth Williams, who had fought a disputed 15-round decision with Larry Holmes. He came out on the short end, never got a rematch. And he was fighting Mike Weaver, who was former heavyweight champion. Mike the Hercules Weaver, body beautiful, always had hard luck, but had a left hand with left hook that'll take your head off. It was looked on as a coming up fight for Carl the Truth Williams. Anyway, Mike Weaver annihilated him. It was a heavyweight classic surprise knockout. The kind of fights we all love to see. But anyway, it was the appetizer for seeing Mike Tyson. He took on Jesse Ferguson. Jesse Ferguson's a proven heavyweight contender, kind of a gatekeeper status guy, but tough nonetheless. And Tyson knocked him out. I believe he knocked him out. I know he won the fight in impressive fashion. It was a TKO in the 6th round. Looking back on the box rec, but it was the beginning of the legend for the world, basically, because it was on national television, and now everybody knew about Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was the man. He was knocking out everybody. Nobody went the distance with him, and I kept my eye on him. He fought another journeyman, Steve Zwoski, after that, and then he fought James Quick Tillis, and I remember that fight. I got a room with my buds at the Biltmore Hotel in Providence because it was on HBO, and HBO wasn't available to Holmes at the time. You had to get a special place where it had it, and the Biltmore was the nicest hotel in Providence. They had HBO. great situation. Get a bunch of guys together, throw a few bucks in, get a hotel room. You got room service if you got money in your pocket. If not, you can run across the street to Domino's. You can bring your booze in with you. I mean, it's a good time. And you leave a sawbuck on the bed for the maid if you make a mess of the place. I'll leave her a 20 if somebody gets sick or some shit. But anyway, good place to watch a fight. But that was Mike Tyson's first distance fight, bro. Neon Eyes, my love. How are you, baby? Thank you for stopping in, man. A pleasure to see you. I'm going to add you as a moderator. I just learned how to do it the other day, and you're my first princess to get blued in my chat room. And it's nice to have you here. Thank you. But we're talking about Mike Tyson, man. Where was I? I see a pretty lady, and my mind gets all twisted up over here. Electro Jet, another one of my brothers. Salute. Yeah, we were talking. We were at Mike Tyson when he had his fight with James Quick Tillis. That's when I got the room with my bros over at the Biltmore Hotel, and it was James Quick Tillis was befuddling Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson had gone through everybody that he fought, knocked him out, very little opposition, and here he is against somebody who knows how to box, but unfortunately did not have the power. James Tillis, a former heavyweight title challenger. He was a good boxer, managed by Angelo Dundee, but he just never could. He was in a bad era, at a bad time for himself, and he could never achieve the great status that he was that was promised with him when he came around. Big Texas boy, drawl. He would wear the cowboy hat. James Quick Tillis, a hell of a fighter. First guy to take Mike Tyson 10 rounds, and we can say a shout out. It was a clear decision victory for Mike Tyson. After that, he took on another tough guy, Mitch Blood Green. Everybody remembers the story of Mitch Blood Green in New York with Mike Tyson and the subway. Tyson was it was an altercation, something to do with money, women, something or other in front of a closed store at 3 a.m. in Harlem. It's not the place for the heavyweight champ or someone soon to be the heavyweight champ or contender to be at that time. But anyway, it got to be an ugly street fight. Tyson broke Mitch Green's face. He broke his hand in the process. All over. I don't think there was. What's the news service today that everything's on? The 3 letters anyway. TSI or whatever the fuck it is. But anyway, it was all over the 6 o'clock news. Mike Tyson gets in a big fight in Harlem with another boxer. And anyway, that was kind of like it was letting us know that Mike Tyson is not your regular 9-to-5 guy, which we already knew, man. This is a tough kid from the streets. Custamato tried to take the animal out of Tyson. He tried to take the city out of Tyson. He took Tyson out of the city, but he couldn't take the city out of Tyson. But anyway, man, Mitch Green, he had a fight with Mitch Green, before he had the altercation in the street, obviously. And it was a 10-round decision. It was a sloppy fight. Mitch Green kind of had took the James Tillis approach. He stayed on the outside. He was a tall guy. He was 6'5", had that long jab. He frustrated Tyson, but he never hurt Tyson. He survived. He hugged a lot. And, Mike Tyson took a unanimous decision. It was at Madison Square Garden. I think we went to the Biltmore to see that one, too. That was another one before HBO, before we were able to get HBO at the house. But anyway, the Tyson train, it just kept on running, man. After that, he took on William Gross, William Hausier, Lorenzo Boyd. Then he took on Joe Frazier's son, Marvis Frazier. It was, it was a Saturday afternoon, Wide World of Sports. It was a big event. They were building up Marvis Frazier too, but Marvis Frazier had previously been taken out by Larry Holmes in the first round. So, Marvis, he was almost like pushed too much by his father. It was almost a sad situation to see. But the knockout was spectacular. It's shown all over classic knockouts. I mean, Mike Tyson had him on his knees in the corner. He just beat him down. It was ugly. It was a 30-second knockout. I mean, it was just it was Marvis Frazier. God bless Marvis Frazier, man. God bless Joe Frazier. R.I.P., man. great fighting family. It's too bad it wasn't Joe Frazier of '69 in there with Mike Tyson of '86. Man, that would have been a war we'd love to see, man. That's a fantasy fight we're left for another time. But anyway, back to reality. After that Marvis Frazier fight, it was Alonzo Ratliff. He was a cruiserweight. I think he might have had a cruiserweight title. It was a fast knockout. It was back on the knockout train. And then it was his first title fight, man. I remember that fight, November 1986, man. Trevor Berbick. That was a fight that something that you'll never ever see happen before, man. That was when Mike Tyson knocked Trevor Berbick down 5 times, I'm going to say, maybe 6 times with one punch. Trevor Berbick went down, got up, went down, got up. It was like a yo-yo, man. It was a wild thing, but it was Mike Tyson's first title. It was a wild time, man. Don King was in full costume dress at that fight. Mike Tyson was the man. He was all over the magazines. He had the crown on his head, the youngest heavyweight champion ever crowned. Shout out to Mike Tyson, man. He was still managed by, I think Customato had passed away, and Cuss didn't get to see the title, but Jimmy Jacobs was there, Bill Caton was there, but Don King was the promoter, and Don King had his eye on Mike Tyson, and it was it wasn't long before there was a major rift between Mike Tyson and the Jacobs crew. After Customato passed away, Tyson was pretty much left to his own devices. He was a wild child. He was out of control. You could see some of the stories. He just was he was a wild man. Mike Tyson was what was a man child. He had more money than he'd ever seen before. It was just it was a sight to behold. Mike Tyson did things like he just was he was a man child. He flaunted his money. He would crash up his car and walk away from it. Buy a new car. Bribe cops when they pulled him over for drunk driving. He was a nut. All this was done a lot after he won the title, but after he unified the titles, because we got to remember he was only the WBC champion. After that, he fought Bone Crusher Smith. I remember that fight too. It was in '87, March of '87. They called him Bone Clutcher Smith because it was a hug fest. Bone Crusher Smith it was a boring fight, a unanimous decision for Tyson. Almost probably a walkaway. I don't think anybody gave any other rounds to Bone Crusher that night. But Bone Crusher Smith was a great fighter. He was in the right place at the right time. He was a tough guy, built like a brick shit house. He must have been 6'5", 250 pounds, solid rock. Didn't have an ounce of fat on him. The guy was just a tough guy. Bone Crusher Smith, long-time fighter, man, a heavyweight not to be forgotten. But anyway, Tyson got his WBA title, so now he was a unified champion. He defended that against former title holder Pinklin Thomas, who I liked Pinklin Thomas. Pinklin Thomas, he had only been beaten by Trevor Berbick. He was a recovering heroin addict, man. He really had a jab like a telephone pole. He had a Sonny Liston-like jab. He was taking care of everybody in the heavyweight division for a while. I had a lot of bright hopes for Pinklin Thomas. I was on his side because I knew where he was coming from, man. I'm a recovering addict myself, and Pinklin Thomas, he did great for a while, and like I said, he lost that fight to Trevor Berbick, and people were saying he almost lost that fight because he didn't want to fight Tyson, and I didn't think so, but there just was something off with Pinklin Thomas. And they said, he relapsed, but whatever it may be, Mike Tyson really brutalized him. It took him out in 6 rounds. It was his first title defense of the unified championship. Then he moved on. He took on the IBF champion Tony Tucker, and it wasn't a very exciting fight. It was a unanimous decision. It was expected. It was just a coronation. Now we had a 3-belt champion. And the only fighter that claimed that they had any claim to the heavyweight championship was Michael Spinks, because he had beaten Larry Holmes, and he had given up his alphabet championships, WBA, WBC, and IBF, and he just kept that linear championship, the ring championship belt. And a lot of people weren't giving Mike Tyson the benefit of the doubt and calling him the undisputed until he fought Michael Spinks. But anyway, after Tony Tucker, he fought Tyrell Biggs, man. Tyrell Biggs is another guy that people had a lot of great expectations for. I believe he was Olympic gold medalist. He was undefeated at the time, but he was no contest for Mike Tyson. I kind of saw when he fought Andrew Galata, Tyrell Biggs. He got off the floor. He won the fight. He had another fight. I think it was with maybe Michael Grant. I can't really remember who it was with, but it was another fight where he just didn't look. He didn't look like the goods. And I think Lou Duva really rushed him into that title fight before he got beat, and he couldn't make the money on him. And Mike Tyson said that in Mike Tyson's way, he said Tyrell Biggs was crying like a girl when he hit him with the body shots. You could hear him. He could hear him whining. And that I could hear him whining like a girl, and I hit him with them body shots. But anyway, man, he made short work of Tyrell Biggs, who never really came back and made much of an impression on the heavyweight division after that. And then it was on to Larry Holmes, and Larry himself said Don King got him out of retirement, dragged him off the couch, told him he's got $3 million if he'll go in there with Mike Tyson. And see, Larry was a guy who loved money. He's going to go in there, man. He wasn't the kind of a guy who could turn down a payday like that. So, bango. You got Larry Holmes and you got Mike Tyson, and you got an out of shape Larry Holmes who went in for the payday. But he had that. He knew the secret. He knew how to keep Tyson away. He had that famous jab that'll never die, and we saw that later on when he fought Ray Mercer. But anyway, that wasn't Larry's night. Larry got KO'd in the 4th round. We didn't think we'd see him again, but like I said, man, Larry came back. Larry's one of the great heavyweights. Turned out to be one of the greatest. And anyway, shout out to Larry Holmes. After that, it was he defended against Tony Tubbs at the Tokyo Dome. It was a quick knockout. Tony Tubbs got knocked out with body shots, if I recall. But it was making, Tyson was not only a hero to America, he was an international hero, man. He was fighting all over the world. So, Japan, that was nothing to Tyson. He was a playboy, but that set up the fight that everybody wanted to see. For the undisputed, for the Ring magazine, no bullshit. The undisputed, the undefeated Michael Spinks, who was beating everybody, who was an incredible light heavyweight champion. If you never saw Michael Spinks fight before, man, Michael Spinks won the light heavyweight title with just a jab, and that wasn't his best weapon. He had a right hand. They called it the Spinks Jinx. It would take your head off. This was a bazooka. I mean, this right hand, you didn't want to get in the way of this right hand. Michael Spinks was behind in many fights in his career. Bango, the Spinks Jinx ended the fight. Man, everybody was. Not everybody thought Mike Spinks was going to be the easy fight that he was. In fact, nobody did. I thought Michael Spinks was going to frustrate Mike Tyson. As great as Mike Tyson was, man, Michael Spinks, undefeated. He beat Larry Holmes twice. Second time, it was questionable, very questionable. But anyway, Mike Tyson walked through Michael Spinks like it was nothing. Some say Michael Spinks was terrified. Others say once he got hit, everything went out of him. He remembered nothing. But anyway, it was a 1-round knockout. Tyson just dominated. He was the man that night, man. That night, nobody could beat Mike Tyson. But at the same time, at ringside, Don King is having Mike Tyson's manager, Bill Caton, served with a lawsuit to get out of the contract, and at the same time, Robin Gibbons is having Bill Caton serve with papers where they want all of Mike Tyson's records open. So I mean, Mike Tyson's personal life was in a turmoil. It was crazy. His next fight after Spinks, it was Frank Bruno. That was a rematch. He had already fought Frank Bruno. No, excuse me. That was the first Frank Bruno fight. It was a pretty good fight, man. If I recall, it was in Las Vegas. Mike Tyson knocked him out in the 5th round. Frank Bruno did pretty well, but Mike Tyson was Mike Tyson. That's when he was untouchable. He did the same next to Carl the Truth Williams, who went 15 tough rounds with Larry Holmes. It was no contest. Excuse me, got to get a little bit of water here. All right, man. After that, that was the fight that shocked the world, man. That was a fight that everybody know. Everybody saw that one, man. We had the James Buster Douglas fight in Tokyo Saturday night. People weren't even interested in it. I mean, I don't even think that half of the press passes were taken up. It's like, who the hell is James Buster Douglas, man? Well, boxing fans knew who James Buster Douglas was. And the thing is, James Buster Douglas always quit. He was never never lived up to his potential. He had problems with his father. His father pushed him into boxing. James didn't want to be a boxer, but James overcame a lot of that. He got on his own. He had the greatest performance of his life that night. His mother passed away. His baby mama was diagnosed with liver cancer. I mean, he had personal problems, and he put those in check. He rose above that. He fought the most beautiful fight of his life. He was in great shape. He was 235 pounds. I believe he was 6'4" or 242, whatever he was. He was in the best shape of his life, and he befuddled Mike Tyson. Everybody says Mike Tyson was out of shape. He was partying. Didn't take him serious. Buster Douglas was a 42-1 underdog, man. But that night was magic. Buster Douglas did everything right. When Tyson came forward, Buster Douglas sidestepped. He countered him. He had a jab that night. He had a Larry Holmes-like jab. He had a stinging right hand. He got Mike Tyson's respect. Tyson was frustrated right from the beginning. Tyson resorted to different styles, which none of them were working. And then Tyson nailed him. Tyson got that uppercut in there. I believe it was the 10th round or so, and he dropped Buster Douglas. And Buster Douglas, the first thing he did was pound the ring. The 8th round. Looking back on my box rec over here, my mind isn't what it once was. But anyway, it was the 8th round. Buster Douglas went down. He was aware at all times. He pounded the mat. He picked up the referee's count. Well, that's what people are assuming, that he didn't beat the count. Don King went through all kind of lawsuits. I mean, it was a crazy time. Poor Buster Douglas. He eventually gets off that. He's down. He catches the referee's count. He got up at the count of 9, shook himself together. He knew where he was. And Don King is saying, "Oh, no. It was 10." And, they went through all kind of things. They used a time clock, and, they don't really understand. See, the time, when you get knocked down in boxing, you pick up the time from the referee, who picks it up from the timekeeper at ringside. And there can be human error in there, but it doesn't matter. The referee's count is final. I mean, we just saw it happen. It goes back to the long count. I mean, there's so many different times where it's happened, and it never changes the outcome of a fight, bro. I mean, the referee is the official timekeeper when it comes down to it. And Buster Douglas got up in plenty of time. It was incredible, man. To take that moment away from him. But anyway, the fight went on. Buster Douglas just got better and better as the fight went on. And then in the 10th round, man, he landed this fantastic left combination. It was a 3-piece. Mike Tyson was on the floor. His mouthpiece was out. He didn't know where he was. He was grabbing his mouthpiece, listening to the referee. The referee counted to about 6 or 7. Tyson got up, fell in the referee's arms, and it was a knockout, man. It was unbelievable. I mean, I was sitting on the chair. My head must have hit the ceiling. James Buster Douglas undisputed heavyweight champion of the world for 10 minutes. And then of course there was the bullshit with Don King in the WBC wanting to stop the title, and then the WBA was involved in the lawsuit. So it was some crazy shit, but man, that was one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of them. That was there's nothing I can say about that fight. That was just so incredible, man. That was just a fantastic fight. It was good times, man. It was a great time, and after that, man, it was Buster Douglas was the man. There was no getting around that. Buster Douglas stopped a fight that everybody wanted to see, and that was Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. Buster Douglas, he was smart enough to make the money that he made, with the time span that he had. Everybody will say that Buster Douglas was out of shape, and he totally blew the rematch with he totally blew his first defense with Holyfield. But regardless of that, the division went on. Buster Douglas, man, he made life-changing wealth. He earned every penny that he made. Like I said, he never really wanted to be a fighter in the first place, man. But he achieved the highest achievable goals that a fighter can achieve, man. Buster Douglas, heavyweight champion of the world, knocked out Mike Tyson. When Mike Tyson, heavyweight champion of the world, was one word, man. That was an incredible night, an incredible fight. I'll never ever remember that one as long as I live, man. So and then after that, Tyson went on a little bit of a tear again. He knocked out Henry Tillman, a gold medalist, one round. He took on Alex Stewart, who was a top contender, one round. Then he ran into Razor Ruddock, who gave him a good fight. Razor Ruddock had that left hook hybrid. He called it the smash. It was an incredible punch. It was it would waste people. I mean, if you see him when he hit Michael Dokes with that punch, he took his head off. He had this. I don't know what you can call it. It was a left hook uppercut combination, and he called it the smash. It was a great punch. But anyway, the referee prematurely stopped the fight, so they say, and it was a rematch given. It took a few months, and this in the rematch, Tyson beat him on a unanimous decision. He wanted to knock him out. There were a lot of jawing going on between that fight, but that was the last fight Mike Tyson had until the inevitable incident he had in Ohio. And who's to say what went on, man? But the bottom line is Mike Tyson was exiled. Mike Tyson was in prison for 4 years, maybe the prime 4 years of his life. And we didn't hear anything from Mike Tyson. The heavyweight division continued. Evander Holyfield. I mean, we had Lennox Lewis. We had Riddick Bowe. We had some amazing fights in the heavyweight division. But in the meantime, the year 1995, I remember it like it was yesterday myself, man. Mike Tyson is back. In fact, I have this little pin somebody gave me. I had it on one of my emojis. It was a little lapel pin. It's got Mike Tyson's picture. It said, "I'm back." And it said 8/19/1995. And it was an amazing comeback. It was broadcast all over the place. Everybody's waiting for Tyson to come back. He comes back against this guy, Peter McNeely, out of Boston area. His father, Tom McNeely, fought Floyd Patterson for the heavyweight championship back in the 60s at the Boston Garden. And Peter was going to win it for his dad. Anyway, Peter McNeely, man, God bless him. He's still around today. You can still see him around on talk shows. Nicest guy in the world. He tried to pull a Rolly. He tried to run in and beat up Mike Tyson. As soon as the bell rang, he was leveled. I mean, it was real quick. It was very predictable. But it was Mike Tyson looking very good without being tested, and everybody said Mike Tyson's back, man. Here we go again, man. The ride's going to begin. Look out, Evander Holyfield. Look out, Riddick Bowe. Look out, Lennox Lewis, man. He's back. but it wasn't the same Mike Tyson. This was a different Mike Tyson. This was a crazy Mike Tyson. He was on his own. He was a wild man. He started cleaning up the heavyweight division. He went on to after Peter McNeely, he took on Buster Mathis Jr., son of the legendary Buster Mathis. He dropped him. Buster Mathis was not like his father. Then a rematch with Frank Bruno. Frank Bruno had a title at the time. He won from Oliver McCall, so Frank Bruno was the WBC champion. Mike Tyson won his first post-jail title. Maybe, I think it was, no, it wasn't his only one. After Frank Bruno, he fought Bruce Seldon, and everybody knows Bruce Seldon, man. A punch goes by Bruce's head, and he goes down. That's what he was famous for. And in fact, the knockout, when Tyson beat him, that was the night Tupac Shakur got shot in Las Vegas. That was a sad night. But it was a sad night for Bruce Seldon for boxing. A lot of, a very muddled belt. But anyway, Mike Tyson is now a unified heavyweight champion. And Evander Holyfield was just going to be another step in the ladder. Nobody expected. Everybody thought Holyfield was shot. Holyfield had been beat before. I mean, Holyfield was, like I said, he was on the second time around. He'd already won the title, lost the title. I don't know if I'm in the right time span, but I know Holyfield got beat by Chris Bird, by James Toney. He had a few defeats under his belt, and also by Riddick Bowe in a fantastic fight. But anyway, now I'm not even sure. I don't even know if he fought Bowe yet, so we're going to have to get my memory straight over here. But anyway, Evander Holyfield beat up Mike Tyson, beat up the bully. It was another amazing fight where we thought Mike Tyson was going to run through Evander Holyfield, and Evander Holyfield stood there, man. He took the punches. Great fight for Evander Holyfield. He was the man that night. He put Tyson in a daze. Tyson looked like he did when he was in Tokyo that night. It was like he was looking for the mouthpiece. It was a great night to be a boxing fan. And that was a funny night around here too, because everybody had these black boxes they hooked up on their cable TVs, and you didn't have to pay for cable you had to pay for cable, but you didn't have to pay for anything else if you had the black box. And as soon as the fight started, all of a sudden, everybody's black box came on with this picture of they played the country music song, the party's over, and all of us, and it was like they said they discovered your black box. They couldn't do that. It was analytical equipment. There was no way they could sniff it out. They tried warning about all that and everything. But anyway, I heard a lot of cars start up. I just switched the cable channels around. I found the channel that was coming on. And like I said, it was a great fight. There was a big scare around here. Black boxes still worked. It was their attempt to rid the area of them. But Mike Holyfield, Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, that first fight was a great fight, man. Everybody thought Mike Tyson was going to roll through Holyfield. Holyfield stood up to Tyson I'd say he stood up to Mike Tyson better than Buster Douglas did, because he took the punches solidly and showed Mike Tyson, you're not going to hurt me. He jawed him up. They jawed each other up. It was a real good fight, man. It was a close fight, but Evander Holyfield just had Mike Tyson's number. And that goes back to the days in the Olympics. And in the Olympic trials, they say that there's a story that Mike Tyson was was at the trials, and I think it was in Colorado, and Evander was playing pool. And Tyson walked in, and he wanted to play, and he tried to grab the pool stick away from Holyfield, and Holyfield wouldn't give up on it, and they just kind of eye to eye, and they kind of knew they were going to be in there someday. But Tyson backed off. He didn't want to fuck with Evander, and Evander he always knew in his heart. He said he always knew if he ever fought, he knew he was going to fight Tyson. And in fact, he loved Tyson. It never went beyond the ring, man. But he said he knew he had Tyson's number, and he did, man. If they fought 10 times, Tyson would probably lose 10 out of 10 times. Evander Holyfield was proved to be that good a fighter, and this was in the second coming when we kind of washed Evander Holyfield off. I mean, the rematch, that was the ear biting fight. That was ugly, nasty. We all know that one, man. That was a crazy, crazy, crazy night, man. That wasn't boxing. That turned a lot of people off to Mike Tyson. He was he was never the same in my eye after that. Biting biting Holyfield like that. That was just not the thing to do, man. It was a black eye in boxing. Holyfield, he lost his ear. Mike Tyson lost respect. It cost him a lot of money. He was suspended for a while. I know the Nevada State Athletic Commission went down on him heavy duty, and it was a turn for Mike Tyson. We saw a real vicious side of Mike Tyson. In fact, in his next fight with Francois Botha, if we remember that one, Mike Tyson tried to break his arm. I mean, he caught him in an arm lock, and he tried to snap Botha's arm, and he was warned of disqualification. But Botha's a tough guy, and that was one of the few fights, one punch knockout power. Mike Tyson laid out Franz Botha. He did show you he still had the power, even at that stage of his career. So anyway, without a belt, he moved on. He fought Olin Norris. That was a no contest. I remember Olin Norris hurt his leg, couldn't continue the fight, and it was a no contest fight. He went to London. He fought Julius Francis, longtime contender. He knocked him out fast. The Lou Severisi fight was something else. I don't know if you guys remember that, man. Lou Severisi, big tough guy from upstate New York, man. Mike Tyson didn't like Lou Severisi. This fight was in England, and Mike Tyson beat him up. It was a first round knockout. The referee tried to step in. Tyson hit the referee. I think he ended up getting fined. He just showed the darker side, man. Mike Tyson was, he was not, he was not the All-American people thought he was back in the day. But Mike Tyson, man, all we can say is Mike Tyson is the man. We talk about him from day one, from when he was a child, man. He broke out of the city, youngest guy to win the heavyweight championship. He took some wrong turns in life, but his life went on after that. After Severisi, he had that ugly fight with Andrew Galata. Andrew Galata didn't want to fight. It was an ugly night, man. It was a no contest. I think they found marijuana in Tyson's urine after that. He tested positive for it, bro. I don't think there's Mike Tyson would test positive for marijuana until the day he dies. Mike Tyson smokes as much weed as I do, and that's a bold statement. Anyway, he fought Brian Nielsen, some guy who, Brian Nielsen from Denmark. Tyson made the world tour. He was cashing in on his name. Brian Nielsen had beaten Larry Holmes by decision, so it was a viable name. So Tyson picked up that, and then he set up the big fight. I didn't even think it was going to be a big fight. I wasn't anticipating it. The fight with Lennox Lewis. Everybody says, oh, the fight with Lennox Lewis. Mike Tyson was shot. Mike Tyson did not want to fight. That just happened to be a money-making fight. Mike Tyson's heart wasn't in it. He sold it. I'm going to eat your children. I know he was the bad man. They had a press conference. I think Mike Tyson bit his leg. It was a quick and painless fight. I didn't think Mike Tyson did anything in the fight. Lennox Lewis did what he wanted to do. I mean, he put a hurting on Tyson. He could have knocked him out earlier, but he wanted Tyson to pay for his remarks. And Tyson went out on his shield. He went out like a true champion in that fight, man. I actually felt sorry for Tyson that night, man. I very seldom feel sorry for a fighter, especially one who's been as fortunate as Tyson. But that night, man, Lennox Lewis really put a beating on Tyson. Tyson was humbled. Tyson knew it. Tyson shook Lennox Lewis's hand after he kissed his baby. He apologized for what he said. I mean, it really showed you how a beat down like that can really humble you, man. But I don't think Mike Tyson was in the state of mind when the fight started. His career continued. He fought Clifford Etanay, the Black Rhino. Clifford Etanay was a good journeyman, a decent fighter. He lasted one round with Mike Tyson, so that was his last win. After that, he basically quit. He got knocked out by Danny Williams, and then he quit on his stool, Kevin McBride. It wasn't Mike Tyson. He even admitted he didn't want to be in those fights. That was just not Mike Tyson. He was in those fights, but it was a shadow of the man. He was paying back money that he owed. Mike Tyson had blown a lot in with his lifestyle, the way that he lived, the money that he spent. Mike Tyson went bankrupt. He went to zero, but he built himself back up again. You got to give him credit for that. The weed's been very, very good to Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson cashed in on that. He made out real well with it. Mike Tyson. If anybody has any memories of Mike Tyson and they want to come up here and share them, man, I'll be glad to do that. I'll put this in the chat, man, and we can we can do it, because I'm sure everybody's got a Mike Tyson story, and I'm sure yours are just as good as mine, if not better. So if anybody wants to come up, because I just wanted to talk about that. A lot of people were talking about Tyson today, and like I said, man, I lived through that era. It was a great ride, right from the beginning, right to the end. Even today, you catch the hot boxing with Mike Tyson. I mean, I love the 420 when he did it with Cheech and Chong. That was hilarious, man. I laughed so hard through that. I was toking with them guys through that, man. It was funny as hell. He had one show. He had Sugar Ray Leonard, he had Thomas Hearns, and he had Shane Mosley Jr. They were hot boxing up there with him. I don't think any of them were puffing with him, but man, Mike had to go through 2 blunts that day. So man, I'm probably going to go pretty soon. I was only on there for a little while tonight. My boys are coming down tomorrow. They're going to hook me up with a camera. I'm going to be able to show you a little bit more what I'm doing, what I'm smoking, where I'm hanging. But it's been a good time, man. I appreciate anybody that came in here, man. I really do, man. When Lennon and Hearn squared up on the show, yeah, bro, that was funny as hell, man. That was funny. And I'll tell you, bro, they both had it in their eye, jocks. They both had it in their eye, man. They were playing around, but I'm sure if the bell rang, they would have tore into each other. It would have been hilarious. And a lot of these guys now, they're having the exhibitions with these older fighters. Nah, that's I don't like to see that. Boxing is a young man's game. Some of these fighters, it's unfortunate that they have to make money in this at this stage of what career that they had. But it's really a common thing, because you think about it. How many retired boxers do you know who are successful today, who haven't left the sport? Most of them they're still hanging in the gym. And it's sad, because a lot of fighters they walk around aimlessly. They've had CTE. They have no jobs. They have no incomes. They have nothing to fall back on. Very little education. The sad thing is what boxers have to do, ex-boxers, is seek help from a Social Security agency, because anybody in this country that has a Social Security number and they're not working, they're entitled to Social Security income, and that'll just open the door. After that, you get aid to housing, and you can get assistance on food and heating, or whatever it may be. But the government we live in it's not going to let its citizens not get taken care of like that. But they do have to make the first move. And there's an organization, it's called Ring 10, out of New York. I think at ring10.com or ring10.org. I've talked to them online before, and I tried to get in touch with them, because I know some of these benefits that are available. And I've asked them. I asked them if I can go out and look for some of these, but use their names, so when they get the return calls, they're not going to know what's going on. And I didn't get returns on my emails, so I talked to somebody who knows somebody. And anyway, we're going to try to help these people out, because a lot of them, man, they don't even have a roof over their head. A lot of ex-boxers, a lot of them have just they're destitute. And I'd like to help. If anybody else wants to, ring10.org, get in touch with them, find out what it's all about, because it's a common thing, man. There's a lot of boxers walking around today that don't have to be. There are agencies out there that will help these guys, get them started. The whole thing is getting them to go there. I know everybody sees these commercials on television. Um, get the Medicare Advantage plans. That's because the government is giving all Medicare recipients more money. They have billions of dollars to give out because they want a healthy population. But the thing is, they're not going to come to you. You have to at least reach out and make the first step. So that's where the retired boxers have to, they have to have a place to go, and maybe the Ring 10 meetings, maybe they can get something going on there. I don't know. I'm gonna talk to these guys again. It's something that has to happen, and we can't let this happen. Boxers are, these were my heroes growing up, and when I hear stories, and I see some of these guys that have no income. They're looking to be trainers. They just it's sad, and they need help. So if you do see any organizations that are helping out boxers, look into them, make sure it's not a scam, and do your best, man, because a lot of these guys, they've had short careers. They've been hurt. They don't know where to turn to. A lot of them are afraid because they have gaps in their work history, and that's not a crime anymore. There's the counselors, the people who take these applications. They were young people. They know what goes on. They know how people can fall into addiction, alcoholism. They can have mental problems, and not be able to carry a job for long periods of time, and so they understand lapses in job history. But anyway, I just wanted to end it with that, man. I'll be doing another one of these soon. This was just a quick one. I want to do a little shout out to my boy Mike Tyson and everybody out there who came in and supported this stream. I appreciate it, man. All you guys are all my brothers out there. This is new to me. I'm just starting to try this out. I hope it works out. I hope what I'm doing is not boring the hell out of you, because I'm going to be talking about boxing, my favorite subject over here. Mo Boxing, my brother. I'm going to be talking about weed. I love weed, man. I'm smoking on some shit today. They call it green crack. It's a sativa. Gets you very, very altitude high, and I have some blueberry to calm that down. So it's nice, man. I'm doing Mother Nature's speedballs. I'm doing the green crack and a little pinch of that and a little pinch of the blueberry. So I got a nice combination, a nice crossbreed. Then I'm going to be talking about music too. My favorite, man. Music is number one over here. Speaking of number one, the number one grinder just coming in, man. I was going to hang it up, but now I got a few more people coming in here. Maybe I'll stick around for a minute or two, but music I want to do something with, because I love music and jazz, man. I lived with jazz. I dedicated a lot of my life with jazz. I hung with jazz musicians, man. I have over 3,000 jazz albums now on vinyl. I don't really listen to them anymore because I can get anything I want on my phone with earbuds. It's better than the $3,000 surround system I put in here back in the early 2000s. And technology has ruled the world, and technology has been my friend being up here. But anyway, music is something I love. Hey, man, I got a friend of mine coming in here. I'm going to add him to the stream, man. Long time bro of mine, guy who knows a lot about boxing, man. From overseas, my brother, the Somalian Mo Boxing. Salute, my brother.
How you doing, bro, Bruce?
Um,
Yeah, I enjoyed that, man. I was driving from Birmingham to I'm still driving to Bristol, so I got another half an hour left. So I was enjoying it, man. Come on, you know more than me about boxing. There's, you can't compare that. That was quite emotional tribute to Mike Tyson. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed it.
well, those are the memories I have, because Mike Tyson was, he was special, and to live through that. Everybody can read about that. Oh, excuse me 1 second, Mom. My brother, the number one grinder, is over here. Let me let him in. Say hello. Here he is, bro. The number one grinder. I'm glad you're here, brother.
Hey, what's going on? Mo Boxing, what's good, fam?
How you doing, number one grinder?
Yeah,
Everything is fine. Yeah.
they're good. A long time don't hear from you. Glad to see you again. Yeah, brother Bruce, I got fun memories of Mike Tyson, man. I remember he used to fight in Atlantic City back in the '80s, man. And then, and he was big time, A lot of people they thought that he was like very snobbish, but he talked to you. It's just that it was just people just nosy, but he's a great, and I'm glad you did a tribute to him, because it seems like the other fighters come up, they don't mention him as a great no more. They put like others, but he was the youngest heavyweight champion, and that's the time that I remember about it. So in his own right, he's still great.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun because Mike Tyson was Saturday night. It started off as Saturday afternoon, and then he was the headliner, and then he was just wasting everybody. He had so much talent in those years, 85, 86, 87, 88.
Yeah.
Nobody could stand in the ring with Mike Tyson back then.
No, he was in his prime then too.
And his head was in his prime too. That's when
Yeah.
when Customato was making sure he was doing his thing. Just Cuss died, like I said, just before he won the title, and that's when his career fell apart. That's when it was bedlam, man. Mike Tyson was a man child. He had all this money. He had women. I mean, he was nuts. He coke, weed, whatever he wanted. But man, there was one thing about him. He was an unstoppable force for those few years in the heavyweight division, and it was entertaining as hell. He was just tough, and man, he put on every time he went in the ring. It was an event, but it got to the point where you knew he was going to knock the guy out. It was so many early round knockouts, and then that fight in Tokyo, man, that was like whoa! Like I said, Mom, I think my head cracked the ceiling that night. That was 80. Damn, that was like 89, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Mo Boxing, you were just a little boy back then, huh?
Oh, I was 3 years old back then. I was 3. I was quite young back then. I've seen the stories and I know about Customato. It was sad because Customato never seen him as a champion because he passed away a year before he became a champion. I watched the documentary. I feel like a lot of people robbed his money as well, especially Kevin Bruni. I think he sued them afterwards. They were just surrounding him. Everybody wanted his money because he was making so much money in it, wasn't he? So.
Oh yeah. He was. And the thing about him was Mike. Even today, you see Mike Tyson with his girl at the fights. No bodyguards.
Yeah.
Nobody fucks with everybody says hi to him. Everybody wants to they used to want to shake his hand. I don't know if they're still shaking hands now, but they want to get a selfie with him. And Mike is his mind is so fast. He'll be 1 second, he'll look at you, hey, hang on, want to give me a pose. You turn around, he's gone. I've heard a lot of people say that he's just all over the place, but he takes advantage of his all access pass in Vegas, man. He's everywhere.
Yeah, he's left. Like he don't need no security guard. People still fear him. I don't think he's as strong as he used to be, but
he's an old man, Mo. He's almost 60 years old.
But people got that fear. People still got that fear. They still remember him. That's the thing. Once you put fear into somebody, they're always gonna fear you regardless. And also he's left as well. He's people like him. Nobody hates him. I've never met anybody that hates Mike Tyson. Nobody hates Mike Tyson.
Well, you come to Rhode Island and you talk to the Desiree Washington family. I'm not too sure they have the same good things to say.
Right. No, they're not. No. No, they're not.
But that's a whole different story right there. But no, you're right. Mike Tyson, he lights up a room, and especially now with that hot boxing that he does. I think that is such a cool show, man. Whenever I'm not doing anything else, I listen to that. He's funny. Maybe it's because we're both a couple of stoners, and I relate to the guy.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he was actually a stoner. Like I never really clocked onto it until a few years back.
Christ, before you were 3 years old, Mike was a stoner. He was smoking that dirt weed in Brooklyn, New York, back in the day, man. Now he's smoking the high grade, but no, Mike was doing coke. Mike was crazy. He was nuts, man.
To be fair though, like he still stayed in shape though, regardless of all the.
Oh yeah. Well, Customato.
Exactly.
Customato just found a diamond in the rough. I think Mike Tyson was 15 years old when he found him, and he was knocking out adults. Even the trainers at at the oh man, what was the name of the training school that he was in? I'll remember the Tryon Training School up in New York. There was a professional fighter who was in charge of the boxing department. The names.
No, yeah, I remember the name. The Catskill. Is it Catskill or something like that? Catskill?
Yeah. Upstate New York, up in the Catskills.
Yeah, Catskill.
And Customato saw Tyson there, and he adopted him as his son. It was weird, weird. Mike Tyson is actually, he's Customato's legally adopted son, and it's the same with Cuss's wife. That was, she adopted him as his mother. Weird setup, but that's what basically saved Tyson. Tyson was in the city. He was mugging people. He was getting in trouble, arrest records. I mean, damn, he was out of control, and that's where the judge sent him to a reform school up in upstate New York, and that's where Customato saw him. And the rest is history. Customato just took him under his wing, and Tyson was shielded. He still pulled a lot of shit. He did a lot of stuff with girls up there. He took off a lot for days at a time. He didn't go to school. He got in a lot of fights, and Customato buried a lot of that stuff, man. He knew Tyson was his money machine. He knew it was his ticket to the world championship, which he had a taste of with Floyd Patterson. So Tyson was he was baby. That's why when Customato died, Tyson went nuts. When Don King took over his contract, that's when he bought the cars. That's when he went fucking crazy.
There was no direction anymore after that.
No direction. Which was tough anyway. He basically didn't have it, but tried his best. But you read the biography. I think it's called Fire and Fear, written by Jose Torres. Tyson said the best punch he's ever thrown in his life was the one he hit Robin Givens with one night. You're expecting to hear, the one he hit Bone Crusher Smith, or the one he hit Mike Tyson, one he hit Michael Spinks with. Nope. The one he sent Robin Givens into a wall with.
Yeah. So, let me ask you guys a question. What was his best win when you look at it, though? Mike Tyson's best win.
Oh, I would have to say, no doubt, it was that first round blitzkrieg of Michael Spinks.
Michael Spinks, back in 1986, wasn't it?
7. I think it was 87. I think.
Yeah, I think it was 87, 86, 87. But it was right at that time when there was just so much shit happening in the heavyweight division.
I was 1 year old back then. I watched his movie. Oh my god! I don't know how much truth that's in there in that movie, but yeah, it was a great movie. The movie was just yeah. Bruce, did you watch the movie?
That was the Mike Tyson story?
Yeah, the movie. No, there was an actual movie that they made about him back in 1995.
Yeah. I can't. Who was the guy? Who was it? Was it Joel White or somebody? The actor?
Yeah. Something White. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty good movie if I recall. It seemed pretty close to what you were reading about. What we knew.
So yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. Like I watched it so many times. In fact, I actually watched it a few months ago, and it was sad because Tomato basically died just before Mike Tyson, a year before he became a world champion. So yeah, that was he really raced him.
And the other guy who took Customato's place, his name was
Kevin Rooney.
No. The guy who was handling was Bill Caton, and it was fuck, man. I can see his face, but I can't think of his name. Jacobs.
I swear that Kevin Rooney was like training him as well. Wasn't he?
No, absolutely. Kevin Rooney was the trainer, but his handlers were was it Denny Jacobs and Bill Caton.
And I didn't like it when
Well, Jacobs died. Jacobs was his main man. Jacobs was like his father. Jacobs the guy who kissed him when he won the title from Trevor Berbick. And when Jimmy Jacobs died, that's when Tyson's life fell apart. That's when Bill Caton couldn't control him because Don King would say, "Bill Satan." No, I mean Bill Caton. I mean he got Caton out of the way. Jimmy Jacobs was smart, and Tyson loved Jimmy Jacobs. But Bill Caton was strictly business. He wasn't warm like that. You know, like I said, man, Jimmy Jacobs and Mike Tyson were so close. And once he died, in fact, at the funeral, Don King he set it up so Bill Caton's limousine with Mike Tyson, it wouldn't start. The limousine stalled, and Tyson went with Don King, and Bill Caton knew right there I'm losing him. You know, Don King came in.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Kid, I'm really sorry. I'm
come
really
on in.
sorry. Yeah. You don't need to sit right here. I got room for one more with you in here. He had a bunch of hot girls in the car and probably a bunch of coke, whatever,
Yeah,
man. And that was it. Tyson was okay. See you
yeah.
later, guys.
He basically like seduced him into like that type of lifestyle because he's like, oh, you're supposed to be a champion and you're just waiting out there. Like, come on in, come in the limousine. Like, you shouldn't be waiting as a champion because they were waiting, wasn't it? Because Duncan made sure that their limousine, you know, I think he took their limousine, didn't he? If I remember it right.
Yeah, something like that. But it was with the limousine. Made sure that that the people Mike Tyson came with, Bill Caton's party, who, you know, they were there mourning Jacobs, and the limousine didn't pick him up, and Tyson jumped in with Don King, and that was it. That was the end of that was the beginning of the end right there.
You know, the girl that accused him, was that the girl that he met? You know, that posh little girl and with her mom and all that. Is that the girl that said that you know, he sexually abused her? You know.
Yeah, that's
that,
the girl. That's the girl that he married, Robin Gibbons. Robin
is
Gibbons.
that, is that? Oh, so she's the one that accused him of rape.
No. The girl who accused him from rape was from Rhode Island. Her name was Desiree Washington. See, after Tyson got beat, before he got arrested, he was the judge or the celebrity guest at Miss Black America in Indiana. And while he was there, he had all these hot broads dancing in front of him and wiggling their ass. And Mike Tyson, man, I mean, Mike Tyson, dude, he's a fucking wild man. In his biography, he said one night he was in a hotel room, and he says he doesn't know if he came, but he says he stuck his dick in 15 girls that night, one night.
Wow.
So I mean, he was a deviant. He was an animal. But anyway, he ended up getting this girl at the beauty pageant. Her name was Desiree Washington. He wasn't even married yet. Or maybe no, he was divorced. I'm sorry, he was divorced. And so he got this girl Desiree Washington. She was a contestant. She was from Rhode Island. She gave her his number. He called her at like 1:00 in the morning to go out. And the next day she was going back to Rhode Island. So anyway, she went out with him, and you know, she says that he sexually assaulted her. She's out with him at 2:00 in the morning. She goes to his hotel with him. It was a crazy thing, man. You know, he had a tax attorney. Don King had a tax attorney as his fucking defense lawyer. He's in there for a rape charge that Indiana Indiana wanted his ass. You know, he got sentenced to, I think it was 7 years. He served over 3 years in jail, and that was like that was as big of time off as Ali took. That's a similarity. You know, Ali when he was stripped of his title for not being inducted, for refusing to be inducted. The same length of time Tyson did his behind bars. When Muhammad Ali, he was in exile. You know, he couldn't earn a living, but yeah, that 4-year break made a big difference. Tyson was never the same after that. But
why I don't like it? Why I don't understand is like, was it ever proven that he actually done that to the girl? Because
it's a rape is a he said, she said. You know, it comes down to those 12 jurors. They believe her story, they believe your story, and unfortunately, man, or whatever it may be, I personally think he was innocent. You can watch documentaries on it. Some of the jurors weren't offered a lot of information that the general public was privy to. Like, for instance, this girl, Desiree Washington, had accused her high school prom date of the same thing in Rhode Island, and they wouldn't allow the jurors to hear that. So a lot of the jurors who you know, after Monday morning quarterback and said they would have not voted for guilty. You know, but unfortunately, Mike Tyson was found guilty, he did his time like a man. He was no punk. He went to jail. So hey, it was what it was. Poor
Yeah,
judgment. Maybe he should have known better. I don't know, man. He always lived in Mike Tyson lived in Mike Tyson's world. He still does
has he
today.
ever admitted?
Yeah,
Has he ever admitted to it? He's never admitted to it,
No,
did he though?
no,
Or
no, no. He could have walked. He could have got out of jail early if he admitted to it. To this day he doesn't admit to it, and he says things about her, man. He knows that in his heart, in his mind, he's not guilty. And hey, man, it's a he said, she said situation, and I really have I have no business commenting on it, bro. I wasn't there, man.
yeah, and you know what? Yeah, I believe I'm with you on this one as well. I don't believe I believe Mike Tyson because look, he's nearly 60 years old, and I know when people get older, and eventually they admit to their crimes, and he still hasn't done it. So clearly, obviously, he never done it really, innit? That's I believe him as well. From speaking from experience, like I see a lot of people admitting to crimes when they get older. So yeah, I honestly, I'm with you on that one.
Well,
Absolutely.
all you guys can do is really read and see the documentaries and things like that. But it's interesting. His whole career, boy. It's just something that I was so interested in, and it was as up and down and bizarre and crazy as it was. We're all talking about it today. There's a lot of people still talking about it. There's still movies on about it going on, and it's. It was a wild ride, and that's why I just wanted to get on for a half hour or so. Just to, I want the one thing I wanted to do was see if I could get on YouTube and stream you out at the same time, so I could give wrenches to people. I kind of know how that works a little bit, but and I wanted to talk about Tyson. I was fortunate enough to live through those years, man. I had to use Boxing Rec to get the dates and shit right. But everything was really memory. It was like I was there. It was like it was yesterday, and it's so cool to do that with boxing. That's why I love boxing, man. You can
Honestly, Bruce, you've done a great. You're really doing a great job. Like you're becoming my favorite channel because you get straight to the point as well when you're speaking about boxing. A lot of channels, like when they talk about boxing, they mess about and all that sort of stuff. But you go in depth, and it's nice to listen to it, especially when you're driving and when doing something, stuff like that, working. It just feels like listening to the radio. Like that's how it felt. You really are doing great, and you know what? Your channel is gonna get bigger and bigger, and yeah, this is becoming my favorite channel, and I wish you done it sooner. Honestly, I'm not saying it because I've known you for a while. It's not that. It's just honestly, you know, you're
Well,
doing a really great
I
job.
appreciate that, Mo, and I know there was a time a while back, man. You guys thought I was wacky. I was everywhere, and nobody knew what to make of me. But
I
bro,
don't listen. I don't care
I,
about that, man.
no, me
Listen,
either, man, me
you
either. And you
you
never hear me say anything about it, But I want
you've
to
always
I want
you've
to thank
always
you.
supported you've always supported us and everyone, and you've never I've never seen you saying anything bad, and you know um you know what, you can go wherever you want to go, as long as you're giving us the great content. That's all I care about. You're a good guy, and that's it. All that matters is what's in your heart, and what I can see so far is like only pure goodness, and that's it, to be honest.
And man, there's just so many places you can go out here, and I like to go to the people that I know they're not on here for any bullshit. They want to talk boxing because man, I can we can talk about such nitty bitty things, and some people get into this fucking blah blah blah. Man,
that's
I
right.
hear it all over the place, but that's not what I'm about, man. I'm here because I love boxing, and tonight that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the memories we have of Mike Tyson. Anybody that has any of them out there that wants to come in and share them with us, man, that's a beautiful thing. I
At, yeah,
I,
at the end
I
of the day,
I love doing that, man. And
Yeah.
I never knew I could do that before until somebody. In fact, Renee Box Young is the one who said, "Man, you got to get online because you're a good talker. You got a lot of experience and blah 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 blah." And I said, nah, Renee, that's not my thing. Who what the fuck do I want to do this for. I like listening to it and talking on the keyboard. But he insisted. No, he wanted me to do it. And then LeVar Cooper, his partner, he sent me a real nice microphone. And so I got the hook up and came on. I went on his show. I think the first one I went on was L Dub. We talked about professional wrestling, and then I went on Renee's. And I've been on so many different panels before. It's just cool. I've been on Drew's. I had one of my best ones actually. I was on the Healers, man. It was me, Ill Will. I think who the hell else was on there? Man?
Bruce, you forgot about me. You was on my panel before everybody.
I'm not through. I was on yours. And fucking
you was on my panel on your birthday last year.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that, bro. And a pigeon came on there.
Yeah, that was a great show that time. I really enjoyed that. No, honestly, I appreciate
that. Everybody was welcoming me on their channels. My brother Mad Chad, who's out there, man, he welcomed me with open arms. He almost gives me a show when I go out there. It's like, man, I feel so humbled. But I said, he talked me into it. He said, "Oh, it's easy, Bruce, man. I can talk you through it." And we were going to do a show together. He was going to come down here, man. Shit happens. We'll hook up again. But anyway, man, I'm giving it a shot. I don't know what I'm doing. I'd like to put different things on screen. I'd like
that's the exciting thing about it. It's like you don't know what you're doing, but you're still doing it. And you know what? You're only gonna get better at it. As I was telling you the other day, it's like I need you to keep that excitement going as well. Like, because some people, eventually they lose interest. It's just if you're going to be yourself, that's the most important thing. Forget about anybody else. There's going to be haters. There's going to be the naysayers. You're just going to be doing you. And that's it. You do such a great job. I really enjoyed the last few shows that you've done. I know you haven't done a lot, but it's great. It's nice to hear about all these stories. Because I was a baby back then.
I'm trying to rattle these things up from my mind. And the people I met out here, man. If I went down the list, so many and so many people that are positive influences on my life, and a lot of these cats, man, they can't stand the other people on that list. But that's the way it is, because you don't like somebody, it doesn't mean I'm gonna not like them. I mean, maybe if you're pounding somebody, if I met you, Mo, and you're pounding on somebody, I'm gonna pound on them too, because you are. But if it comes down to it, bro, I don't give a fuck who's your friend, who's your enemy. Bruce Goes is on here. You can deal with me. If you don't want to, go somewhere else. If you talk some shit, I'll block you. I mean, I'm not on here for any confrontations, bro. I mean, that's the last thing. I'm a fucking old man. I've been confronting people all my fucking life, man. This is fun. This is retirement. I can talk boxing. I can talk weed. I can talk jazz. I can talk anything on here. Music. So many different venues of music I'm into now. I love jazz. I love country. I love the old stuff. I love the Hank Williams, man. I love the rock and roll, the Led Zeppelin. From my days, the Black Sabbath. I remember going to all those concerts, man. And these are things I can share on here. People can come in and if they went to the shows, if they like the artist, if they have a different taste in music, let's talk about it up here. We're all human beings, man. Let's have a conversation. It's like coming to my house and not sneezing all over me. You know what I'm saying, bro?
At the end of the day, I think that you and my chat, I like your channels because you guys don't talk about other communities. You don't put other communities down. The problem is a lot of the people on certain side, they talk about other people, and that's why where the dislikes comes. But when you start talking about boxing and being positivity, then all the rest will die out. All the other shit just dies out. Because we're here for boxing at the end of the day. We're not here to talk about other YouTubers. Yesterday when I was on my chat panel, what's his name? I forgot his name now. What's his name? The Mexican guy that always laughs. How can I forget his name? He's always laughing. Anyway, the guy, he was talking about other channels, and I said, look, let's not talk about other channels. Let's just keep it boxing. And that's what we're here for. That's it. As long as we talk about boxing, that's all that matters. But when we start talking about other people's channels and other YouTubers, it'll become a bit personal. and I just want to stay away from that as well, from the drama. Like, I used to enjoy the drama, but now I'm 35 years old, and I just I want to enjoy the boxing, man. Just like tonight, you know. I've totally enjoyed it.
No, you're always welcome over here, Mo Boxing, and I'm not gonna be a moderator, but if people start talking shit in here, if it's two guys who want to talk some shit, that's fine. But when you start bringing racial shit in here and you start bringing other people in the conversation, that's when I'll mute you and I'll block you and I'll fucking ghost block you so you can't even comment in my fucking chat room, whatever the fuck it may be.
Man.
Right.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And Mr. Doc, you've already got 2 strikes against you, so watch yourself, brother.
I'm already up against the wall. The whole bit. Oh my God. I couldn't believe it the other day. And this ain't nothing against anybody. I'm not gonna name names, right? But like,
Yeah.
No, hang on. Now, some people were like, oh, you got something to get against Hispanic, bro. My brother-in-law is Mexican. Okay, I'm Irish descent American. All right, my nieces. I got 2 little nieces, Mexican Irish. All right. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like the Bruce was kind of, no one's got time for that kind of. Am I making any kind of sense here? They don't know who's got time for this.
Bro, we're in a mano sport. When they touch gloves in the middle of the ring, it doesn't matter what color you are, bro.
Right, exactly.
Mano.
Boxing is loaded with racism, man. It's loaded with it. It was from day one. Yeah,
but you know what?
It has been from day one. And shock infested waters that we tread in. But we're pure boxing fans. We rise above that shit, bro. As hard as it is, we have to do it to set an example for the rest of the boxing community. And if they follow it, man, then they're going to be happy boxing fans. If not, they're going to be fucking miserable fanboys and an overly passionate fucking crazy fucking social media.
Bro,
that's what we're here. We're here to show people how to enjoy boxing more than
I was
as much as we are to share experiences.
I was going to say, to be quite honest with you, that is the kind of thing. I'm not going to say it's the only thing, but it's the kind of thing that leads to people just being miserable people. You know what I mean? Seriously, if you let that dominate your life, I'm just saying, not saying it's not real. You get me? That is the hard, the not easy to answer, question of, how do you balance that, right? The realities of things versus how much you let it dominate your reality, if that makes any kind of sense to people.
Yeah. The guy, actually, Bruce, the guy that I was talking about, my chat actually put it in the chat. His name is LT. I was talking about my opinion on boxing, and he was like, get out of here with that narrative. He was like, you watch all these channels. He was like, but look, I don't watch I don't care about other people's opinion. That's my opinion, and that's the thing. Like, everybody's entitled to their opinion when it comes to boxing, but I just think people shouldn't talk about other channels. You just leave them be. Mo Boxing,
why are you, my man? You're in my channel over here. Whatever happened in Mad Chads, that's all water under the bridge. LTs were always welcome over here. You're welcome over here. Mad Chads welcome.
No, I got no problem. I got no problem with him whatsoever because I spoke to him yesterday. He's all right. He seems to be a cool guy, but it's
very,
just like,
very cool guy. Funny as hell, too, man.
Funny as hell, yeah. He just laughs.
He makes me laugh.
He just laughs at it forever, and he's a funny guy. Like,
that was a demonic laugh that he had last night.
Yeah.
That was scary, bro. LT's his own man. I mean, LT's got his own chat. I've seen him handle his chat so well. People troll him. I don't see LT get upset or anything, man. He's a cool guy, and I guess we're all individuals, and sometimes you have off nights, sometimes you have on nights. It is what it is. I hold no grudges, man. Shit's happened in the past. This is the future. Fuck the past, man.
Yeah.
Let old
fuck the past. Yeah. Listen, but all bygone, you're right, 100%. The only thing that I just don't like is that when people start mentioning other people's channels, or and then obviously I got like respect for them or friendship with them. So I don't want to be like looking like Two-Face, for example. I'm trying to protect my,
Well,
my,
so do I, Mo. I mean, I go
and that's
everywhere.
it.
I've been on panels. I've been on panels with LDBC channels. I've been on panels with people that can't stand the LDBC. I've been on many different channels. And bro, I'm here for boxing. As long as you're respectful. If you start disrespecting anybody that can't stand up for themselves, and I'm on the panel, I'm gone. I'm not there to play mud games. I'm there to talk about
Exactly.
boxing. And I'm unfortunate that some channels, several channels, they call me up when they have professional boxers or retired boxers on there because they know I go back there and I can ask them I can ask them questions that relate. Like Drew invited me on when Vinny Pazienza was on there a couple of weeks ago, and Major Key invited me
I
on there
watched it.
when he had Buddy McGirt and when he had
I watched that as well.
yeah, I mean, to me, that's the coolest thing in the world. There's no hate in there. There's no politics. Nobody mentions anything, man. Just boxing, and I hear some jaw dropping stories, from some of these Jerry Cooney, from Buddy McGirt, from Michael Nunn, from Vinny Paz, and man, where are you going to ever do this except on the internet and in the YouTube boxing
On
community?
YouTube, yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
really,
I agree with you.
it's magic, man. If I told my friends, I said, hey, guess who I talked to last night? I said, I talked to Michael Nunn. He told me to give him a call from ever in Iowa, have dinner. And they're like, get out of here. And I'm like, bro, I show them the show. I said, look, go home and listen to this show. And they're like, next day, motherfucker, you with that dog picture. I says, yeah, that was me. That sounded like you, but I'm like, bro, this is the new
It's
generation.
crazy, isn't it? Yeah. People won't believe that when you tell them that. Like, I even spoke to boxers as well on YouTube, and when I tell my friends, they're like, nah, they won't believe that because they
we not
won't
only
believe
talk,
that.
we build up relationships with them.
But Mo,
It's
Mo and Bruce, both of you. Now think about this. So, here's
Doc,
where
Doc, I didn't even know you were here, bro. What the fuck is going on, man? What did you do? Nod off on us? Take over, bro. Let me do a couple of tokas over here.
You didn't give the door guy, proper instructions, and he let me in.
You snuck in. You didn't pay your $5 at the door, you motherfucker.
I got in.
But yeah, man, honestly, like, there's more positivity than negativity. And you know what? 2022, like, I just want to be positive. That's it. I don't want no negativity.
Mo, okay, I know where I was going. Mo, here's my thing, right? And this is like part of what fuels. I'm similar to Bruce. I go everywhere, right? Because one of the things that stuck with me as a little kid, I read lots of books as a little kid, right? And we had what we call parables. They're like what's the word? Stories, moral. There's a moral to the story, right? And the one that stuck with me was there's this group of blind men, right? And they're surrounding this elephant. You follow? And one of them's got, he's got the trunk of the elephant. And he's like, I think this is a snake. And one's got the leg, and he's like, oh, it's a pillar. And one's got the ear, and he's like, it's like a giant leaf. And it's only when they all talk to each other, you follow, that they get it's a fucking elephant. Same thing to me applies all in so many layers of life. It's only when you get a multitude of perspectives on something that you really start getting any kind of, high fidelity picture of what's really going on there. Am I making any kind of sense?
Absolutely, Doc. You told that story last night, and you made just as much sense today as it did last night.
Okay, well, Mo's new. I haven't talked to Mo before, so I was just
not a problem.
No, you make sense. Yeah. I just listen. I just respect everybody as long as you respect others and yourselves. Boxing. Is such a great sport. Like, why not talk about it rather than talking about others or yourselves? And there's so much stuff to talk about, and I've enjoyed tonight, and Bruce goes your channel, and even my chat as well. Like, I've enjoyed his channel last night as well. I know he left the stream in the end, and then there was another guy, I forgot his name now, an MMA guy. He started some stream, and there was some couple of English guys there as well. And then we had some great conversation. So, yeah. It's all about
it's a cool thing, Mo, and like I knew from the beginning. You're a cool guy, man. People bust your balls because of where you hang, man. And fuck that, man. You're a man. You are what you are. It doesn't matter. It's what you are and who you are. It doesn't matter where you hang with, man. When I was a kid, we had a lady next to me. She was a single mother, and my mother used to say, "Don't you go over there. Don't you go over there." And she was the cutest looking thing, man. And oh no, don't you, bro? I went over there, man. Ooh. And I kept going over there. And bro, I mean, I just learned a lesson. When people tell me not to go somewhere, that's usually the place that I'm gonna go to the first time. And it's usually the sweetest place, bro. And you pay my internet bill, man. You control my fucking cable, then you can tell me what to go on, what time. But until that and then, man, I go anywhere I want to go, bro. I go see these ladies in the Philippines. They were here tonight. They sing karaoke all the time. I go and they just want you to drop your link in there. And then they were here tonight, man. Lovelies, and there was a couple of them. I even forget their names, man. God bless them. They sing karaoke. I guess it's nighttime over there, and they get together. They do harmonies. Oh, it's fucking nice. Mad Chad's been there before. Beth the Lily, and they're sweet. Anyway, man, I go over there and I got wrenches over there, and people say, "What the fuck are you doing over there, bro?" I go where I feel like going. I go to cooking channels, man.
At the end of the day, I don't pay your internet bills. You don't pay my internet bills. I think we can go to any channels we want.
There you go. That's right.
That's it. If you're a real friend, you're a real friend. Like, I mean, if someone is your friend, they're gonna stay your friend. That's it. They're gonna stay there, like your friend. That's what I mean. Like, it's your internet.
There you go. That was something I wanted to get at earlier. Right? Is look, man. This is just my. I don't know what everybody else grew up with. I'm talking about grade school age, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? I learned early on that never ever will all of the people that I get along with each other. That was just like duh. That was common sense. I don't know whether I'm lucky or the world's gone insane. Okay, but seriously, this whole seriously, guilt by association. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on, man. Yeah. I mean, seriously. I've known countless brothers, sisters, and so on in the same family that can't get along with each other. What the fuck are you talking about? Of course.
Well, the thing, Doc, I don't even care if friends are up here. I don't care if you're fucking friends or if you're fucking enemies. If you want to discuss boxing in a reasonable, if you want to discuss it like gentlemen or even like fucking animals, you can do it. You can do it over here. Just don't mention any fucking words that I don't want to hear, bro. I may have to have 10 commandments or something. You break a fucking commandment, you get blocked.
No, I know. I find it weird that there's this. To me, I perceive this strange expectation that some people seem to have that everybody that they get along with needs to get along with each other. It's like, bro,
it's never been. That has never been. Bro.
Exactly. The world's never worked that way. Worked that way.
Bro, in fact, I like different opinions, man. I like people that have different, they have different views, especially with boxing. Some people go fucking crazy. If you don't agree with them, bro, then you are the devil, man.
Public enemy number one.
Oh my God!
You've broken all 10, right, Bruce? You've broken all 10 commandments. You are the
bro. I'm gonna run up on you I'm gonna fucking pull up on you at the fights and fuck you up, man. It's almost like when I used to go to professional wrestling. They had this joint called Jack Witchy's. It was a barn. It burned down. George the Animal Steel would be there. God. Killer Kowalski, Chief J Strongbow. And I was there one night, and I'm fucking cheering for George the Animal Steel. He was a bad guy. And he's beating the fuck out of SD Jones. And there were these people sitting in front of me, and they're like, hey, that guy's cheering for George the Animal Steel. Bro, I thought we were going to have to come to Dukes at the end of the fucking... These motherfuckers were believers. and I was the ops, man. I was fucking cheering for the bad guy. It was as crazy as these passionate fans of boxing today.
Yeah.
Mo, I'm glad you're back, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I had a phone call. Unfortunately, I'm using my phone, which I use like 99% of the time when I go on YouTube. And when I get a phone call, it's just so annoying. Like it's just
Oh, no
you just
problem. I've
sit
only
there.
used mine once because that's all I have a camera in. But tomorrow, my G called me up. He told me that he's coming down 10 o'clock in the morning. He's bringing, which about 11 and a half hours from now, he's getting me a camera. He's going to give me a new hard drive in my computer. So I'm going to be kicking ass next time I go online. You're going to be able to see me,
You're
the
gonna show
weed
your
I'm
face.
smoking.
You're gonna show your face, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've done it. I don't give a fuck. I've shown my face before. Oh, I've shown
seen.
all those pictures I show of me.
That's you. Yeah, the pictures. Is that you?
Fucking, that's me in my diesel days, bro.
Oh my days, you look like dangerous, like yeah. And you know what? By the way, you don't look like like your age, like you know what I mean. Like, I know you said you're 67 or something like that.
I look at if you could see it now. I'm 20 years older than like let's say I'll put this picture in here. That picture right there, that was me in about
When was that?
2002, 2003.
Like Sluger. You look like Sluger there.
fucking diesel, baby. I was
Diesel.
hanging and bagging in the gym with fucking Hogan, baby.
Yeah, man. And you know what? Do you know what as well? Like, it's good to like show your face and like so people get to know you and stuff like that. Because you know that's what YouTube is about. You know, like
Well, no,
a lot
I
of the
don't know,
people.
man. I don't know. It is what it is. You know,
It is what
I gotta be real with you, Mo. I have been consistent from day one. I ain't telling nobody shit. All right, they can go get. I've seen how the internet works. It can get fucked. I'm here to talk about boxing. You know what I mean? And my words and my concepts. Let them be judged on their own merits. Let them be judged on their own merits or lack thereof. And if anybody insists on going deeper than that, you know what? That's you, buddy. But you know what? I got other beers to drink.
Mad Chad's making me laugh.
My man talking about commandments and
commandment number 1. Oh, I forgot. I can do this, man. I forgot.
Oh, no.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you can put the comment on the screen. Yeah, now I can see it.
Man, I should have done that during the whole show. I forgot all about it, man. That's why I'm a greenhorn on this, man. I could have put all the people who came in. I could have put their comments there, but I wasn't even thinking, man. I was just happy that I was able to get on.
You should have warned him, Bruce. If you come here, BL's blocking you.
No, he's not, man. I'd like to have him over here.
I'm teasing.
He's not blocked. No, there's only one person blocked here.
No, I'm saying odds are he's gonna block you.
Oh, I'm blocked for sure. Bro. First of all, I was there as I was just in the chat as a regular guy, but we hit off well. And then one day he did this thing. Oh, I saw this idiot named Drew Titan have this show about the greatest boxers of England, and I don't know who he had on there for his panel, but anyway, Drew gave me a text and he wanted to talk about the best fighters from England that I saw. It wasn't the greatest fighters. I mean, he's naming Kid Jappy and these fucking guys I've never heard of before from the 1900s and shit. And,
Who's this person? Who's that person?
That's the BL, the boxing librarian.
Okay. Oh yeah, that guy is yeah.
But anyway, I talked to him and I told him what I just told you, and he said, "Why don't you come on? We'll do a show together." And so I went on there. I was on there for 2 hours with the guy, just like I'm on here with you guys. We talked. We had a good fucking talk, bro. It's like I was his buddy, man. We talked like we're talking now. It was great, man. It was another brother in boxing, and this guy was so smart. I mean, he could have embarrassed me. He could have made me look like a simp. But no, bro. I mean, we talked about the fights I saw in the 80s and the 70s. We had a good camaraderie out there. And Scrapbook Boxing was in the chat. He said, "Great talk, man." Because Scrapbook I respect on here. He's what I respect him as high as anybody on the internet. But anyway, somebody blocked me with a wrench on BL's channel, and I'm saying, I'm trying to get in touch with him. I sent him an email. I said, I put it in big letters. I guess it pissed him off. I says, what the fuck? Why am I blocked? But anyway, he spent a half a show trying to unblock me, and Mark told him it was a member who probably blocked me, and he told him how to do it. So we spent a good half hour, 45 minutes on just unblocking me and giving me a wrench, and we're cool. And then, Mad Chad had a show, and he had a chat, and people who the boxing librarian didn't like were in the chat room. And he said, if anybody's in that chat room with, I don't even remember who the fuck it was. It's, it's like everybody's got people they don't like out here. So he said something stupid like that. If you're in a chat room with him, you're blocked on my channel. And then I get an email and it says, I'm not going to block you because you were the only non-racist in there. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And the next day I go on there and I'm blocked. And it's like, fuck it. And the guy's only got about 20 people watching his fucking shows now. And I don't know, bro. I liked him. I don't know why he did it. But
who's that? Is that BL? Is that the boxing historian, yeah?
The boxing librarian, he calls himself. Mr. Cock knows him for sure because he's
actually I know him from a long time ago. Like he's a bit like you know what it is there. He knows about his boxing, but the problem is that he's a bit like he's a bit like stuck up, and that's the thing.
Yes.
Yeah. You listen. At the end of the day, you can know more than me. That's fine. Okay. Then educate us. But when you start acting like stuck up, then I'm out of there. I don't care how much boxing you know. If I see like, you think like, you're better than everybody else, and everybody else stinks and all that sort of stuff, then fuck it. You know what? Do you? Like, I'm gone. I don't like people treating other people like, and that's the problem. Like, some people think like just because they know more than you about boxing, they're better than you. This is the thing about YouTube. No one's better than nobody. We're all equal.
Dude,
that's it.
Dude, Mo, I've got the receipts, okay? Me and this guy used to be on Hangouts, right? We would do fucking reviews of fights and blah, blah, blah. No problems. Everything was cool. And literally, no no warning, no explanation. Out of nowhere, I'm just boom, and one day I'm blocked.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird. It's one of those things where I just throw my hands up and I go, you know what? I ain't gonna waste my time trying to decode this nonsense. Whatever, you know what I mean? People are strange sometimes. It's all my fault. That's right, man, Chad. It's all my fault.
No, it's weird because I enjoyed the guy. I had a decent conversation with him. Hey, I got somebody else backstage here, man. The man of the hour, the man with the power, who's never sour. Always an honor.
What's up? What's up, guys?
Electro Jed. What's up, my brother?
What's up, Bruce? How things going today?
I did a little thing on Mike Tyson, about 45-minute thing on Mike Tyson. I just talked about what I knew about him and, what the things I lived through. I'm sure you lived through. And I was going to sign off. And then the Grinder came on here and we talked a little bit. Mo Boxing's on here and Doc came on. Now fuck it, man. I got nowhere to go. I'll sit on him and shoot the shit for a little bit. Mad Chad's out there making us laugh like a bastard.
What's up, Mad Chad? How you doing?
No, that's Electro Jed.
No, I'm Electro Jed.
How you doing? You right?
Different personality altogether.
Mad Chad's probably in those silk sheets right about now.
What's up, Chad? How you doing out there in chat world? I tell you what, man. Last night's fight, I tell you, I felt like when I was watching the Benavidez fight, I don't know if you guys felt this way or not, but I felt this way. I felt like I was in the middle of a Rocky movie because Davis, was taking a beating and then kept swinging like a Rocky movie. I was like, the hair started standing. I said, are we watching a movie? And I was starting to cheer for this guy. I really was. That guy showed some heart and he was throwing punches and he was telling Benavidez, fuck yourself, you pussy. I was like, no, this motherfucker's serious. I thoroughly enjoyed that up until his corner threw in the towel, which is the right thing to do. Don't get me wrong. It was
Yeah.
the right thing to do, but that boy has some fucking heart. And kudos to him. Now, if we talk about Benavidez' performance, yeah, that was
Well,
god awful.
getting back before we talk about Benavidez, getting back to Kieran Davis. When I saw him, I said, "Damn!" I said he looks like Sean Porter, and I swear, a minute after I said that, he's sparring with Bud Crawford. I said, "Shit!" Not just because of the hair either, man. He just had that wide hands going forward style, and bro, and then the way I saw the Benavidez going, it looked like it's a preview of what might be happening. But I'm with you, Jed. I was digging on him. I like that aggressive style, but I just kind of knew he wasn't going to hang with.
Yeah, I knew it was, but in the back of my mind, I was hoping he would. Because I would have loved to see this C-level fighter that Benavidez was supposed to take out by round 2, 3 the longest. And which is why I'm very, very, very disappointed in Benavidez. Benavidez, people keep talking about Benavidez could take out Canelo. That motherfucker don't have a chance. He don't have a snowball's chance.
Not ready. He's not ready.
He's not. He's not.
I disagree. I disagree. I disagree. I think he's got a chance. I don't think he's gonna win, but I'll give him more chance than everybody else that Canelo fought.
Okay. Let me clarify what I'm saying here.
He's got more chance. He's got more chance than these other guys that he fought.
It's not that the reason I say what I say so vehemently, it's because he does have a chance if he was ready. There's a difference between the two. Okay, having requisite talent. Caleb Plant had requisite talent, but he didn't ever get that talent honed and sharpened, and you know what I mean, honed in the heat of battle against fucking, real opponents, against real opposition, against real fucking, obstacles to overcome. And I'm telling you, the same thing's going to happen with Benavidez. He might have the ability. He is not ready. You understand me?
There's only one boxer that's ready for fucking Canelo. Only one.
Who's that?
Just one. And that's Triple G. That's it.
And honestly, if I as much as I don't,
he's too old now. He's too old.
Thank you. He's too old. If he fights him again, I'm telling you, if he fights him again, Jed, it's Old Yeller. He's gonna get Old Yeller.
I don't think he's gonna get knocked out. I think Triple G.
I said Old Yeller. It's gonna be like putting down a dog. You know what I mean? That you like. It's not gonna be pretty. Is my point.
I think, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. The only guy that I will give a slight chance will be Benavidez, and that's gonna be maybe I'll probably give him 25% chance. I knew Plant was gonna lose. I knew Billy Joe Saunders was gonna lose, and all these other guys, I just knew they were gonna lose. I never ever gave them a chance. I don't know what people see in these guys.
There's a big difference in weight. Let me explain this to you. I would be if Benavidez were to go up to 175 today. Let's say his next fight, he went up to 175, and Canelo decided to go up to 175, then I would give Benavidez a chance, because at 175, Benavidez is the perfect build for that weight. He's the absolute perfect build. If anything, I was discussing it with Mark a couple of days ago. If Benavidez went up to that size, he could possibly take out someone like Bivol. Well, I don't think that would be even a problem. Then I would actually give him a chance against the Canelo, because at that size and with that weight, and if he's disciplined, he can actually go ahead and try that plan of moving forward and throwing punches and bunches, like he says. Is Canelo going to give him a huge fight? Yes, Canelo would give him, but at 168, Benavidez doesn't have a shot. He doesn't have a shot.
Another thing, what I like about Benavidez as well is he will come forward. He's not messing about. He just comes forward and that's it. And that's what I like about Benavidez. That's going to be an exciting fight if they fight. I really hope that they make that fight.
His head is up too much, and he's flat-footed, facing forward. That's against the Canelo. Seriously, Canelo will pick him apart. I thought I was like I said, I was talking about this with a couple other people, and we were talking about it, and I thought that Canelo would take him out by 7, the latest. And he said, and the person I was talking about said, nah, I see it more around like between 9, 10, and 11. And I said, really? He said, yeah, really, because because Canelo's not going to stay there and take the punches. He's going to keep dodging and hit him one punch at a time, and that's going to frustrate the fuck out of Benavidez. He's going to one punch, back off, move to the other side, one punch, probably sneak a combination in there, back away. You know, the way he does, dodge his head back. Because if you ever notice when Canelo fights, he'll put the front foot forward and he's leaning back. So he's within striking range, but his head is out of their range. So that being said, he'd irritate the fuck out of someone like Benavidez. Benavidez needs to work on some more footwork. He really does need to work on the footwork. And even though he does have a decent jab, it's not a great jab.
I don't think Benavidez is going to change his style. Like, I think that's going to be him. I think that's the way he's going to be fighting until the rest of his career. He's just going to come forward.
Well,
he's always going to be flat-footed.
If not Benavidez, then who?
I honestly don't see anybody else. He's going to have to go up. He has to keep going up and up and up until he loses, or maybe retire.
I don't know. There seems like there's a lot of talent at 160, and just the money that would generate from a Benavidez fight, because a lot of people don't think like Jed does. A lot of people give Benavidez a chance. So
yeah, you don't go under the assumption that I don't like Benavidez. I think he needs discipline. You know, I was highly upset with him when he didn't make weight. You know, he coming in at 169. Granted, all right, that's within the weight limit.
I thought that was perfect. Bruce was telling me last night that's a perfect weight, 169.
Yeah, but not for a championship fight. Is not. That would disqualify him.
Wait, wasn't Canelo? Wasn't Canelo 169?
Huh?
Wasn't Canelo 169? Wasn't Canelo 169?
Yeah, it's a moot point. That's the weight that he was contracted for. He made it, and people made a big deal about it. But you know, if you looked at the contract, a pound was stipulated, and that's been in effect forever, man. I remember hearing that back in the 70s, bro. So it didn't shock me, but what shocked me was the people. I heard people. Oh, I'm dry. That's it. I'm done with him. He sucks. He's not disciplined. He can't make the weight.
Imagine if he would have had to still try to make weight. How the fuck would he have been able to make weight?
Imagine if we're fifth, we'd all be drunk, right?
Yeah, but look what happened to Galahad.
Yeah. Good point, Bruce.
Look what happened to Galahad.
When Galahad got starched, man, that was a bad day for Eddie Hearn.
That was a bad day. Like, Terry Harper lost that fight.
You don't think that? You don't
having a bad year this year.
You don't think him not coming in on weight on time affected his performance? Because the kid Galahad that I saw was a bit sluggish. He was slower. He wasn't on point like he was in previous fights. And then he got caught the way he did twice.
No, I'm not a big follower of Kid Galahad.
No,
I don't follow the featherweights like I did before. So, but I thought it was a hell of a fight. And what I did see was after he got knocked down that first time, he went back to his corner and they were in disarray. They didn't know what to do. It was like, let's push him out there because we're not going to stop a fight like this. This is a title fight, and you think he's all right? I don't know. Are you all right, kid? Ding! Push him out there.
Soul knocked out of him. He got the soul knocked out of him. And it was his own fault. I think it had to do with catching weight. I think it had a lot to do with him not being at weight and having to continue to fucking make weight.
I'm not a big fan of that style, like the Sheffield style, Dom Ingle. Like, you know, when you look at the history of the Sheffield fighters in England, you know, they, for some reason, they got like weak chin. Like, you know, this is not the first time, you know, one of their fighters got chinned. Like, that was coming. That was coming. I know he was winning the fight on points, but Martinez is always gonna be dangerous.
That's what I usually do.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean.
So now who does Martinez fight? How about a fight with Gary Russell Jr.? You think that's possible?
They're gonna have a rematch, but I think that's gonna be a big mistake for Kid Callahan. I think Kid Callahan, I don't know, his last win when he became a champion, like for me, he became a little bit arrogant. I didn't like his tone, the way he was moving and stuff like that. And in boxing, I think you have to be humble. If you're not humble, you will be humbled. That's the way it always goes in boxing. Like he was talking about Mike Tyson earlier. Look what happened to him. You know, he was the bully, and then eventually, look what happened to him. You know, that's what happens in boxing, unfortunately. There's always going to be the bigger guy that's going to knock you out. It's boxing.
No,
And
there
that's
was
why we love it.
There were some awesome upsets this week. Not, I wouldn't even call them upsets because I don't know what the odds were, but it was an exciting weekend for fighting, bro. Yesterday was a good day for me.
What'd you think of the knockout that Baumgartner did to?
That was unprecedented. When do you see somebody standing there out on their feet? I mean, never mind being a woman. But bro, I don't think I've ever seen a fight end like that before.
That better be knockout of the year for the.
Oh yeah, man.
Possibly boxing in general. That was.
Yeah,
now,
she was knocked out standing, wasn't she?
Here's the beautiful thing about it. Now, she knocked her out standing, right? And thank God that referee came in when he did. But then threw in an extra punch in there to wake her up, just to let her know, just so she can know she lost.
Well, see, that was the weird thing, because the way your body is wired. When you get hit in the jaw like that, it's the most painful place that you can be hit, and your brain is supposed to send signals to your legs to give out that laying down is the position you should be in, and when that doesn't happen, your neurological system is totally fucked up, because standing there knocked out on your feet,
I've seen it.
You better check with a neurologist after that fight, sister.
I've seen that happen in street fights. I've seen it happen a number of times in street fights. Never seen it happen in a boxing match. Not a boxing match that.
I've been stunned before, like a basketball in the face, something like that. But I don't think I've ever been knocked out on my feet before.
That was bad. That was bad. And you know what? That referee, had that been an inexperienced referee, oh my God, it could have turned out a lot worse. And Eddie is having a bad year this year. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but all his fighters seem to be losing.
Too, though. So he deserves it. He deserves to have a bad year once in a while. He talks a lot of shit.
Yeah, because he's again, we're coming back to the humble bit. Like, if you're not humble, you will get humbled in boxing. Whether you're a promoter or a fighter, you will be humbled in some sort of way. And look what's happening to Eddie now. The zone has failed. It's just sad, isn't it?
It is, but the thing about Eddie, I think he's going to come back, because I think he might have failed, but I think it was with somebody else's money. So I don't think Eddie is any the worse for the wear. I mean, he's got that plantation up in England, bro, where he has and man, Eddie just seems to be he's going to be the man in a few more years, because Bob Arum's going to die. I don't know if Al Heyman's going to stay with it forever. Al Heyman's rock and roll, but that's a crazy business now, and man, I don't know. I just kind of think Eddie's going to be like the last man standing. I just think he's going to be around for a long time.
Then it'll be Eddie talking like Bob Hearn, 20 years down the line.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can see that, but at the same time, I can't see that either. Like Eddie Hearn is a rich boy from Essex, England, and you know, he had it easy so far. Now he's seeing the truth, and I don't know. Can he take any? Can he take another loss from AJ again? Like, Usyk. You know, can AJ beat Usyk? That's gonna be a really really tough fight. I still think he could do it. I know, like, I've seen Mad Chat saying like no chance before. Like I was watching Mad Chat's stream when AJ lost. So yeah, of course Usyk's gonna be the
Mad
favorite.
Chat is a big
But
Usyk fan, so Mad Chat
yeah,
doesn't think anyone's going to beat Usyk.
and
So that's that.
I, I think like if AJ loses again, I think wow, I don't know how Eddie's gonna recover this because that's his main cash cow.
I think it's going to be a different fight the next time they fight. I think it's going to be a much different fight. You're going to see a more focused. You're going to see a more focused AJ. Whether AJ could beat him because this time he's going in as the underdog. Whether AJ can beat him, I don't know. I'd have to see. I'd have to watch the training sessions compared to Usyk, and Usyk has a fucking a ridiculous training regimen as it is.
I got to get some water. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, no problem. But as it is, I do think that AJ is going to come in a different boxer and change something, or change a thing or two in his style that might surprise Usyk. And if he does, this would make for an interesting fight. If AJ beats Usyk, then AJ would have beat everyone that he has fought at least once, you know. And
Yeah,
that, so that there again, there's that thing. If Usyk wins, then it would really not be a surprise to the world because they have AJ as the underdog. But I think people are sleeping on AJ. AJ came back from the Ruiz loss. You know,
yeah,
he came back and he made an example of it.
yeah.
Now,
But he can't go. Yeah, but he can't fight in that type of style because if AJ does it again, listen, AJ is not beating Usyk in boxing style. I think AJ has to take the risk and just go out. Either get knocked out or knock out Usyk. I think that's the only way he'll beat Usyk. I don't think he's gonna outbox him like the way he did to Ruiz. Like Ruiz, we could all see that. Like if AJ was, a lot bigger. Usyk is not a small guy. Usyk, I don't know why people say like, even before the fight, they would say that Usyk is a small guy. Usyk's 6'3.5". He's a big guy. He's strong as well. Like, outboxing Usyk. The only chance he's got is just go out, just go in on him, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At least you gave your best shot. But he needs to stop this boxing style. I don't like that AJ doing it. It just looks a bit like it
yeah,
looks
but again,
freakish.
he's looking for a different trainer. He's looking. He's right now. He's shopping for a trainer. And
Who's gonna be his trainer? Who's gonna train him?
Well, I haven't heard if he's picked a trainer or not, but he's actively looking for a training camp or a trainer, just so he can. What I think that would improve his game is that, first of all, if you watch closely the video of the last fight,
Yeah,
AJ seemed like he wasn't on his game, like he wasn't sure of himself. He needs to be 100% confident in his abilities. He wasn't throwing out a real jab. He was throwing out feelers, and that was it. No snap in the jab. He needs to improve the jab. It needs to snap. If he was able to get with someone like Lennox Lewis, you would see a completely different boxer fighting fucking Usyk. Usyk would have
you know what?
a huge fight on his hand.
You know what? Like you just mentioned about the confidence that he's not sure of himself, but guess what? He's still not sure of himself because he's still saying, "I'm gonna keep Rob, and I want another trainer to join the camp." Why? That's he needs.
That's called
Either,
loyalty. There's nothing wrong with that.
No. Okay, then stick with Rob. That's it. If you're loyal,
another trainer, you could still get another trainer for input and
I don't think that's gonna work.
Huh?
I don't think that's gonna work. I don't.
Boxers done it
Boxers-
all the time throughout the years. Boxers have had multiple trainers at the same time.
No, not with AJ. AJ is not. Look, those boxers were confident. AJ does not have any confidence at all, and now he can't even decide whether to stick with Rob or get rid of him. And this is gonna be his downfall. Sometimes loyalty is good, but too much loyalty that can be your downfall as well. And I think if he just needs to like be selfish and just decide what he wants. Either be loyal or that's it. It's as simple as that.
Nothing
Well,
wrong with
you know what I
loyalty.
saw. You know what I saw. If I can, man, I saw AJ after even before, but I'm going to say after after he got knocked out by Ruiz, he just didn't have that hunger anymore. I mean, AJ, I believe I heard him say after the it might have been the Klitschko fight that he wasn't in boxing to win titles. He wasn't in it for glory. He was in it for money. He wanted to make a lot of money. He wanted to retire rich with his faculties intact. And bro, I just like Mads Chad just said, the silky sheets, man. And I said that about AJ years ago. I saw that in his eye, and he's been going through the motions. But the guy has properties. He has business. You know, he gets on the phone with E.F. Hutton and listen to how much money he made, you know, on interest yesterday. Bro, you think he wants to get up in the morning and hit the fucking road at 4:00 and then go through sparring, get ready for Usyk again? And Usyk is just the rematch. That's when he wins his title back, and then he's got to defend it. Yeah, I mean, he may get the rematch because of the dough, but bro, he's probably going to make as much between now and then on just his business earnings as he's going to make getting in a fight and maybe getting his head knocked off. Because Usyk, bro, he's just looking good. The other day I get up, I put YouTube on, and I didn't even have. I wasn't even awake, bro. I didn't have my glasses. I was a long way away from the TV. I thought it was Lomachenko sparring. I could just see the fluid motion, and I got closer. It was Usyk, and man, I mean, the fucking guy light on his feet. And Mad Chad's always pointing out he's not a small man. He's the same size as Muhammad Ali, who was towering over Sonny Liston in the stare down. So, bro, you know, AJ to me, he's a young man. What is he? He's in his early 30s, correct?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's not in a position where he doesn't have to retire because of age. He's not today. Heavyweights are fighting up to their 40s and beyond. I just think he's had enough. He's like Ferdinand the Bull. He doesn't want to chase the matador anymore. He wants to sit down and smell the flowers. And you know, I kind of get that feeling from AJ. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's got hunger in him. Maybe he needs a heart transplant, whatever. But I just see him on the decline. You know, not that physical decline, but I just see his career winding down.
You might be hitting the nail right on the head, my good sir. You might just be hitting the nail right on the head. You know me long enough now to know I talk numbers, and I talk when I talk about these fighters, I talk about numbers, and I talk about statistics, and I talk about what possibilities can happen, and then I also add in the videos that I see, okay, of their training and of their previous matches. So you know, I'm looking at the brass tacks of it. You're looking at the heart and soul of it, and there's a big difference. And you're right. If he doesn't have the heart, if his heart's not into it, then he's just not gonna fucking win. You know? So if that's the case, then he should just retire before the fight. Honestly. And if he does, you know, if he does retire before the fight, before the rematch, then just fucking let Fury and Usyk go at it. And fuck over White. I would love to see White get fucked over. It would be such a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, I was I for the life of me can't see how you can pull out of a fight with an injury. You know, a big fight against a top 10 contender, which I was looking forward to that fight, bro.
I was too.
And then you get rewarded with a title fight against the Gypsy, who may or may not defend the title when the contracts are laid out and when, you know, the terms are agreed upon. This is nuts. And what happens to Otto Violin? he just gets pushed in the background. We talked about this, man. His whole
Yeah, no,
training.
we talked about it, and you know how I feel about it. Otto got fucking screwed over big time. He should be compensated for the money that he's invested in training.
Yeah, the whole business is rotten, and who knows what's going to happen? I don't know, man. I'm just glad that I'm sitting here watching the fights. I'm able to get on here and chop them up with guys like yourself, bro. And that's about really what that's all I could ask for today. Well, they're putting out a Joseph Parker and Chisora. I just read is going to happen before the end of the year. That's interesting.
On the 11th?
A rematch, yeah.
On the 11th of December?
I don't know the date, but I read it the other day when I was going through the upcoming fights, man. And yeah, you win one, you lose one. So I'm not going to get my blood pressure up over it, bro. It is what it is. Boxing is what it is. Once again, I'm looking at the glass as half full. Most of the time, my fucking ego, my I don't know, my attention span, whatever it is. Some days the glass is half full. Some days the glass is half empty. Maybe my anti-anxiety meds aren't kicking in, which I smoke those anti-anxiety meds.
Yeah, for me, it's depending on how much pain I'm in, and I got pain meds if I got them, and I really don't like your anti-anxiety medication too much, although I might take them once in a while. I truly am the type that needs the actual pain meds to get me through.
Oh, I understand, bro. I was on opiates for years and years and years, and now I live in pain. But I smoke there's different strains of weed that I get that relieve the pain. Like today, I got this shit called green crack, and man, I'm sitting, I'm saying, damn, my shoulders feel really good. But I was on opiates for 10 years, man. Not 8 years legally. I had I was getting prescribed 150 milligrams of oxycodone a day,
Yeah.
and I was taking more than that. I was getting 30 milligram pills 5 a day, and I talked the doctor into giving me it earlier, and it sucked after a while. But anyway, I used this shit called Suboxone. It took me a year to get off of them, and I accept the pain now. They told me the only cure is I have to have double joint replacements. Both of my shoulders have to be surgically replaced.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, and that's from powerlifting, man. You see my shoulders are pretty built up in that picture, and that's because I used to deadlift fucking 500 pounds, crazy amounts off the floor.
I never deadlifted that much, but I did lift weights when I was younger, but not to the point like that. I mean,
I did it to the extreme.
Yeah, I didn't do it too. I lifted weights just to keep my upper body strong enough to knock people out. That was the only reason I did it.
I just kept. It was my living. I was a personal trainer. I had a nutritional supplement business. I was selling wholesale supplements. I had to look the part. I had to look fit for the last 30 years and still do, man. I just don't let myself go. I eat healthy. I exercise every day, and I just. I try to keep it together. And as far as getting the shoulder replacements, man, I looked into them 20, 30 years ago when they told me that I first needed one back in about 20 years ago. And it's not like a knee replacement. Knee replacements, they do to the tune of like 50,000, 50,000 a week, where shoulder replacements are down to the double digits because it's such an intricate joint replacement. It's not just up and down like the knee. It's all different facets. And then, one doctor told me at the time that he didn't want to operate on me because I had too much muscle on my shoulders. And then, it was fucked up. It was a bad time. And then that's when they put me on the narcotics to relieve the pain. And I just needed more and more. And, 2 wasn't enough. I need 3, no problem, blah, 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 blah. The doctor he was a croaker, they call him these days, I mean, the doctors like this, they get put in jail for what they used to write. But hey, no problem, Rascalot, man.
With me, because,
I understand, man. I know people.
But let me say, is this? I used to be a bouncer, right? I used to bounce for a living and work in bars all the time, and because I'm so short, I would get challenged a lot. But I was not ever one of those really violent ones. I just wanted, I needed the strength, which is why I lifted weights. I just needed the strength for immediate burst to qualify her quickly. Put it that way. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. What's up, Raslat? How you doing, brother? But yeah, I never did anything like competitive. I did it just to be able to get my upper body to the point where, because I've always been heavy, and I just I like having the power.
Yeah, and I never did anything competitive either, bro. I used to just, hey,
You wouldn't
it's
catch me lifting 500 pounds. I'd be like,
well,
"Look at
well,
you."
I could never lift, I could never press 500 pounds. But the thing was, sometimes it's better to look like you do, and you avoid situations than actually being able to do it. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So anyway, man, I'm just into health. I'm into a life extension. Right now, man, I take maybe 4 prescription drugs a day. And sometimes it's only 3, but not even a day. That's maybe a month, because I take testosterone replacement, which is exactly what bodybuilders use for steroids, but it's in just a small amount, and it's not taken to keep muscle or build muscle. It's just taken to regulate cholesterol, keep your testosterone levels up there, because after you get, of course, once you reach 25, your testosterone levels start to decline. And dude, I'm 66 right now, and I take a half a gram, 500 cc's of excuse me, I think it's I don't, it's a half a gram, 500 milligrams of testosterone cypionate once a month. And again, there's no anabolic effects from it. You'd have to save 10 bottles and do those 10 bottles 3 times a week for 12 weeks to see any kind of
Adverse effects.
Yeah, to see any kind of anabolic steroid effects. But it's something, I don't know, man. People who I knew who were into fitness and shit, and they're getting older. They said, go get your testosterone levels checked out by a doctor, see what's up. And it's just a normal thing. It's part of life extension. Like I said, keep your cholesterol levels there. Keep your blood pressure right. Keep the red blood cells going. You need healthy testosterone levels, and that's you go to any anti-aging clinic or some a life extension clinic, and that's the first thing they do is they check your testosterone to estrogen levels, and there are different supplements and different drugs and things like that people take. But me, I'm into it, doing it naturally. I eat clean. In fact, tonight for dinner, my wife made me egg whites, potatoes, and for dessert, I splurged. She made me a couple of pancakes. I put some maple syrup on them. But that was like, she goes, that's dessert. I know, because she's like my nutritionist.
I think my wife made me tonight the most carbohydrates I've eaten all month, because I've been staying away from the carbohydrates and the sugars, right? So she made me some pasta tonight, some Alfredo, and with chicken, and I ate that, and it had a piece of bread on it, but then I finished it off with water and stuff. I said this one.
Chicken Alfredo is like a heart attack in the making, bro. It's got so much sodium and saturated fat in there.
I'm not so much worried about the sodium. It's more of the
worry about it, bro.
No,
85% of this world is pre-diabetic. They don't even know it.
And that's I have to take Trulicity once a week to make sure that it helps me keep my blood sugar down below 150. My blood sugar is usually around 117. It's in the 110s and shit like that normally right now. So, but the second I eat pasta, that shit can go up to 135, 140. And then
I know, bro. I know, man. I don't know. How old are you, brother?
56.
56? Well, bro, I mean, 10 years I realized this. My father-in-law died. My father-in-law, my wife's father, he died from diabetes, had to get the toes amputated. I mean, he liked to eat the food that was bad for him. He liked to eat the high-fat foods. He liked to eat sweets, chocolates. He'd always be sneaking that shit in, and
Oh, I
man,
stay
I
away
saw
from
it before
sweets,
my
man.
very eyes. And I'm very, very strict about that with myself, and I try to be examples for other people, man. It's very easy to eat nutritionally clean. I mean, me and my brother Big Duke on the fourth quarter, that's what we try to preach. We try to not preach. I hate to use that word, but with our experience, our life experience. Because, bro, I mean, let me see if I can find you this picture, Jed. It'll kind of blow your mind, man. Let me see if I can find it here. I'm sure I have it in there. This is a before and after picture of myself.
Oh, wow. Excuse me. Sorry.
Check that big boy out there, man.
Yeah, I see.
I dropped 70 pounds of fat, and I put on about 40 pounds of muscle. And it took me 5 years, bro. But this was in my late 30s, and I got in much better shape. And like I said, it took me 5 years, but I started with cleaning up the diet. I started with running, jogging. I couldn't even make it a few blocks. I had to throw up, and I had all kind of aches and pains. Because, man, I was getting chest pains, in my early 40s. I wasn't feeling good at all, bro, And so I just, my father died at 52 with heart disease. So, bro, I just kind of fucking said, fuck, I'm not going to look like that. So I started running, and after that, I wasn't, I was losing the weight, but I was looking like skinny, and I was looking kind of flabby. I didn't have anything underneath. There was no muscle coming on, and so I started lifting weights. Somebody, some friends of mine, they said, "Hey, man, we'll set up a little something in your cellar." So I got into it. I was down there every night, but then I outgrew those, the Sears weights I had, the Wilder set, whatever it may be, and I joined the gym, man. It was like one of the best things I did. I got away from. I changed my lifestyle. I was with a lot of people who drank and drugged all the time, and you can't do it if you want to get diesel, bro. And that's what I wanted to do. I was lifting weights. I was eating properly, and it was right about the time that the nutritional supplement industry went wild, because all the supplements you see now, they were all they needed a prescription to get, like protein powder. You couldn't just go buy the shit that you buy today: creatine, glutamine, amino acids, all that shit. It was a whole new world. They had pro hormones, man. They had ephedra. They had all these different fat burners, and I was into the gym. I hooked up with a guy who owned a little nutrition store. And I bought into that, and I was part of the business, and he expanded, man. That was like a fucking, it was an unbelievable time. Everybody was into fitness. I mean, it was the Jane Fonda time, basically. People are wearing these funky clothes, the fanny packs, and they're spending big money. I had people driving 50 miles to buy creatine, which you can go buy at a freaking neighborhood, an AM/PM now. And creatine was so it was in such demand that they couldn't produce it fast enough. The people wanted to buy it, and the gyms were packed. People were paying $35 a month. I mean, I was a personal trainer. You see those 2 certifications behind me, and I made a lot of money doing it. I was making $40 an hour back in the freaking 90s training people, and I had people. I had to turn down people. There was so many. Mid-aged women, women old, like they were in their 40s and beyond. They wanted to get in shape. I was a nutritional advisor too. I used to put together diets for them. So it was a cool thing. It was a lifestyle, but it saved my life, Jed. I mean, I would have been drugging and drinking and dragging around fucking 50, 60 extra pounds. And I'd be in the grave now if it wasn't for nutrition and for training, bro.
I feel you, man. And if like with me, I'm in that boat now. I feel like I have to. First of all, I've been losing weight, and I'm steady losing weight. It's slowly, but it's happening. And then I have these physical therapists and occupational therapists that come in to help me. My wife takes care of me because I'm that ill. But I've been dieting a lot and losing weight steadily. This year, within the past year, I've lost 80 pounds. And soon I'll be hitting my goal where I'll fucking be below 300 pounds. I haven't been below 300 pounds in over 25 years. It's been that long. So I've got goals set, and I have to eat healthier, and I have to exercise more, and I've been doing it. It's just slow going.
No, I know it's hard to do, and what I try to do is I try to help people do it before the people with the white coats tell you have to do it. What I try to tell people when the way I did it was small, gradual changes, especially with the diet. I mean, like for what I did was I did a little bit of research, and I found out what's good for you, what's bad for you, what's really bad for you, and I found out the stuff I was eating was really bad for me. I mean, I had no idea. There's only 3 things you can eat, bro. Because protein, carbohydrates, and fats. But I was eating all the bad. I was eating the fatty, the gristly meats, the high sodium, the high fat meats, and for the carbohydrates, man, I was doing like mashed potatoes, white rice, white bread, but this is
Oh
just the
yeah,
things
I
are
know.
simple carbohydrates. I learned the difference. Like, see, a handful of cotton candy and a handful of spinach, they're both carbohydrates and they both weigh the same, but they're so different when you eat them. I mean, the complex carbohydrates, they actually work like little blenders in your system. They help clean cholesterol from your veins and your arteries. They help your digestion. I mean, the carbohydrates are so important, the kind that you eat. And that was like one of the first steps. I found out fruit juice is bad, soda bad. Alcohol, I had to give that up anyway,
Soda's
man.
the worst thing for you.
Oh
Alcohol,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
pure sugar.
Even
Because
fruit juice is just as bad, though. It's nothing but sugar. It's concentrated sugar, bro.
Raslat, yeah, I've been cutting the carbs
No,
out, but the
but
walking thing, I can't do too much walking. Raslat, I can't do too much walking because I suffer from lymphedema on my legs. They swell up a lot to the point where I got a bunch of health problems. So this is why it's done slowly.
you do the best you can do, Jed, but never give up, bro. I mean, always always try to do more today than you did yesterday. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yes, that's the
Progressive
ticket.
overload. Like if you did a little exercise with 10-pound weights, do some dumbbell curls, just keep the arms nice and tight. Tomorrow you want to do them with 12-pound weights, or the next week it's whatever you can bear and whatever you can do, but just try to do a little more today than
Yeah,
you did
let me show
yesterday.
you something. I'm going to show you something. Let me get on cam. Look, see, I have these that I have to work with. All right, these
Oh
are the
yeah,
resistance
resistance
bands.
bands. Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
use
Oh, you
these.
can do a great workout with those.
Yeah, I use these every day for my upper body. And as far as the legs go, I have to be very careful. So what I do is I'll use these to strengthen them. I can't do a lot of walking, but I can walk a little bit at a time. So what I do is I'll walk to the end of the driveway, come back, then I'll walk back and to the end of the drive. I do that about 2 or 3 times a day where I only did it. I used to only be able to walk to the doorway. That's how bad it was. Now that I'm walking outside and back at the end of the driveway and back, I'm feeling more comfortable. I'm feeling like stronger. So hopefully I'll be able to uh, get a regiment going where I might be able to go to a gym. But right now I can't because
Bro, I
it's too much.
understand, man. You do what you can, brother. You just keep yourself as healthy as you can, man. I enjoy talking to you, bro. Oscar's asking about Gatorade. See, Gatorade, man, that's one of those things. And what it does is it replaces electrolytes in your body, which is sodium and different like potassium, the different nutrients. Now, Gatorade, that's good for after a heavy workout, but you don't want to sit around drinking Gatorade all the time because you don't need it. It's got things in your body that you have plenty of. I mean, you can get really sick from too much potassium, too much sodium, a lot of sugar in Gatorade. Even you can buy sugar free, I know, but bro, it's good for after a heavy workout, but you don't want to go home and have a glass of Gatorade. Some people are doing, vodka and Gatorade, bro. Nah.
No, Rasla. Yeah, listen. I was actually thinking about investing in one of those little stationary bikes. I was really thinking about doing that. Um, but I want to get me a good bike. If I don't get me
I'll
a
tell you
good
what,
bike,
Jed. Yeah. If I can make a suggestion, see, you could join a gym because they have great bikes, elliptical trainers. Maybe you spend like $10, 20, but whatever they charge, and that way you don't have to spend like $1,500 on this really nice bicycle, and you can go use it whenever you want to. And to me, and plus you meet positive people there, man. Maybe you get a decent protein shake, a smoothie after your bike ride. But instead of spending all that money on a piece of equipment, plus you need a lot of room to put it in, you need to do maintenance on it. To me, a gym has everything you need. It just takes it's a little bit of motivation, and I know, brother, it's a big effort to do, and it's a big commitment. But when you look at it. And you talk to the people there, and you don't commit yourself to any more than a monthly fee, where you can cancel at any time. But that way, you don't have to invest in a bicycle, or even if you want to do a little bit of weight equipment, the machines they have. I've trained people who are in wheelchairs. I've trained old women who are 80 years old. There's an old man. I want to put his picture up there. I took him down to New Orleans. Not an old man. The guy was younger than I am now. He was 65, but this was over 20 years ago. He set a national record for drug-free powerlifting at 65. Man, most people, including myself, if I didn't take care of myself, we're not even going to be able to fucking open our eyes wide at 65. And this guy set a national record, man. So shout out to him, bro. I mean, age is really a number, and like I said, you can you can get a real good stationary bike to work out, to use in the gym. That'll only cost you your monthly gym fee, which you can, if you don't like it, you cancel it, bro. It's no big deal. I would just advise that instead of dumping your dough on a high end stationary bike, because they're available. You can rent them, and you rent gym space. Sweat over there, man. Don't sweat in the living room, right?
my thing is I like my privacy, and the gym. Like, I used to go to gyms before, but that was when I was younger. Now
But
that
see, the whole thing is, bro, everybody's in there for the same reason you are. Fuck the privacy, man. We're all in there for the same fucking thing. If it was easy, nobody would be there trying to get it. It's there for like-minded people that want to get healthy, and you're gonna meet people that'll give you little tips, and private. See, it's a motivation too, because you want to get your $30 a month worth. You want to spend that money, and you see some you see some good looking girls in there. I guarantee you that. I'll get on one of those treadmills behind some fitness bunny on a stationary bicycle, bro. I'll set a new record. I've done it many a time, man. I've had some good. I've met some people that I've traveled to Las Vegas with. That I've traveled, to a place called Prudence Island with. It's amazing that the people that you meet. And I'm an outgoing person. I love to talk. I kind of know a little bit about things, and I'm lucky because people like me. And I like people, and and I found out it's positive people. The people that around here that I was hanging with at the bar and shit, man, they weren't getting me anywhere. They were dragging me down. So it was almost a refreshing atmosphere to be in. And so as far as the privacy goes, there's always privacy, bro. I can have that as long as much as I want. But if I do want to socialize and get fit on somebody else's equipment, I go to the gym, bro. It's a nice thing. But anyway, Jed, man, it's 11:30, bro. My wife's telling me if I don't go to bed here, I'm sleeping on the couch, man.
I know that my wife already told me she's going to bed. Brother, listen, it's always a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for inviting me up here to chat with you. I always appreciate it, and I love the fact that there's somebody up here that has more boxing history than me. So,
I'm just a little older, Jed. You have just as much as I do, man.
but on all that, dude, you have yourself a good night. And to your chatters, Raslot, and all y'all, I will be having another state of boxing today. It's going to happen in a couple of days. I still got 2 more questions to make up, and I'll be starting the invites to that. So if you guys, and you too, Bruce, I would love to have you there. But thank you for having me here, man. I appreciate it. I let you. I mean, I love the hell out of you guys, man. You guys are just too cool.
Hey, peace, my brother. It wouldn't be a show without you. All right, hey, Oscar Prince, bro. Those drinks that say 0 calorie, and bro, just look at the ingredients in there. You know, if any of those ingredients make you have to Google them and see what they are, it kind of, you know, to me, personally, I drink water. I drink water all the time. I'll have a protein shake with yogurt in it in the morning after I do my calisthenics, after I get my cardio in. But man, water is my drink. You know, water is life. That's what your body is made of. It hydrates the organs. Everything else that you put in there is an additive. It's a chemical. Your body has to break it down, figure a way how to expel it. You know, if you can convince yourself to drink water, you're going to feel better in 3-4 weeks. I guarantee it, man. You know, force your body to do it. If not, go back to drinking the sugary drinks. But water, your skin looks better. Your teeth feel better. Your hair, everything, man. Water is my #1 supplement. So I'm just going to say that, my brother Oscar Prince. My brother Oscar Prince, boat engines. Is that what it is, brother? But anyway, man, congratulations on your baby. You take care of it. You got my prayers. Everybody out there, Rascalot. Oscar was out here for a long time with me tonight, man. Appreciate it. Mad Chad was over here. My brother Electric Jed. Mo Boxing. I had my brother, the underrated, up here, man. The Grinder. Doug was out there. Your boy Jocks. You know, it was cool. I had a lot of good people out here, man. I appreciate it. You wouldn't believe how much I appreciate it. I'm going to cut out now, man. Oscar, I'm going to be doing shows about nutrition on here, bro. I'm going to be, and you can come on. We're going to be doing mucho shows on there, my brother, because that, like I said, that's my thing. That's what saved my life, man. I'm 66 years young right now, and bro, I could get on the floor and I could give you 100, no problem, bro. No problem. As bad as the shoulders are, man. You know, I smoke myself a fatty, this green crack, man, and I'll give you 100, no problem. I keep those weights moving. I don't do anything crazy these days. You know, I probably do like 100 reps a day just to keep the joints going. You know, maybe 100 for the chest. You know, for the arms, biceps, the tries, and you know, hey, man. It's available. I'm going to be dishing out on my shows. I appreciate you guys coming in here now, man. Nothing but mad peace and love. Thank you for coming, man. Peace.